nice.
Okay, well, here we go. Right onto the first map of Copenhagen. And out the gate, I'm noticing FreakinAndy in the blue has opted for the Bengalis here. So that won't make its way over to
Instant
Northern
double dock.
Crossings. And a double dock instantly against Daut's Burgundians in the red.
So usually on this map, you've got the first dock that you build, right? And you start queuing a few fishing ships, and then you add that second dock as you're thinking about going up to Feudal Age. Andy goes for 2 docks right away, so he can have the Omega fishing ship production at the top there. And he's got 8 Vils queued. Is he just going to hang out in Dark Age forever?
It's like a 32 Vil Dark Age or something like that?
And that's super weird with Bengalis, because with Bengalis, you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, I got to get up to the next age so I can get those 2 extra villagers as soon as possible.
You would think, right? That is your eco advantage, getting those extra Vils every time you make it to a new age from each town center that you're in possession of. But hey, he'll make up some of that eco in the long run by pumping out these fishing ships twice as fast.
Yeah, and the Daut Scout is threatening the king a little bit from Andy, but it's only a Dark Age Scout, so Andy's going to run away, and Daut will be exploring this area down here. Andy's going to expand this way. There's a lot of wood lines over there. Usually it's really, really open, but it looks like the wood, it's probably the same amount of wood. It's just all spread out.
Yeah, it's a good point. A real concentration near the outside of the walls there for FreakinAndy, whereas for Daut, a little bit more spaced out in each of those smaller wood lines. Either way, it is, of course, Copenhagen, so not a ton of action at the very least until we hit Feudal Age and see something on water. And Daut will be the first one there. So in 5 seconds, looking for some fire galleys possibly to pop out. Oh, it goes for the galley play, in fact.
Yep, 2 dock galleys. Really, really solid, right? And Andy went for 2 dock fishing ships, and he's even making another fishing ship despite the fact that his opponent just got to the Feudal Age. So it appears to me that Andy is just, you know, making those fish and trying to get as much food as possible, expecting them to die.
Yeah, that's a bit of a sketchy investment there because, you know, for the 70 wood that you're putting in,
you're
how
still
much
30
food,
seconds away from even having the capability of thinking about creating some defensive ships.
And this is where I think Daut's galley play might really pay off for him, because he's going to be allowed to get to a mass that can compete against any fire galleys that come out in response. And even then, FreakinAndy just now getting villagers onto gold.
You can also get gill nets in Feudal Age. I mean, it's unlikely, but you can with Burgundians.
You absolutely could. He just now brought back his first set of gold, so there goes the first fire galley into the queue. But the galleys for Daut have already made half the trip across the map to look for damage against the fishing ships.
Ooh, I think at the bottom there, I think Andy has sent a villager out, but Daut has his scout. No, that's a scout. Okay, it's not a villager.
Good. All right, well, what's the response here for Andy when he sees these galleys come in? First, Daut's going to target the villagers. Not a bad idea. Just shove them away. No loom, so could have gotten a lucky pick if Andy wasn't paying attention. And now all the fishing ships split up and run. Scatter!
Oh, man. That's a big investment from Andy. He might get the fire galleys out in time to save like 2 or 3 of them. But it's kind of interesting, the approach here, right? It's basically like, I'm going to get a little bit more food early, but I'm definitely going to sacrifice these economic units. He had to know that Daut would be up early. Even with Burgundians, Daut has done this strat multiple times on Copenhagen.
Yeah, it's a really good point, actually. Like, maybe he's just taking a gamble, right? That Daut as Burgundians is going to go for a longer Dark Age investment into eco upgrades. But either way, Daut goes for the fast feudal, picks all but 1 fishing ship off, and might even be able to find the last.
Might get that villager, too.
Ooh, could be close.
No, Andy always saves Vils.
There it is.
Even against projectiles, he's going to be fine with that. And he has 1 fishing ship still alive, a brave soul on the high seas here. 1 out of 5 is, you know, not so bad for how far behind he was to Feudal Age. Andy also got those 2 additional villagers. So if you look at the Vil count right now, Andy's at 25. Daut is at 23. Daut, however, is getting the 2nd wood upgrade already with Burgundians. Andy's getting Horse Collar too. Which is interesting, because usually people are thinking, you know, of getting that fishing eco started, maybe on the southern pond. But Daut's not going to opt for that. He's going to go for the farms, and it looks like Andy is the first player that's going to go for a dock.
The saving grace for Andy here, too, is that while he lost the majority of his fishing ships, he does now have the fire galley numbers overall on water, so could possibly roll forward and remove the 2 fishing ships that Daut's had.
Oh, he's going to control this. With Bengalis, like, he has the self-healing ships, too.
Right.
So all of that damage that Daut just did to that fire galley will eventually be healed over time, and Andy has the numbers advantage. So Daut has done enough just to snipe the fish. He's going to go see if he can get another one. And Andy is replacing his fish. And like I said, he's going for another dock in that bottom pond. Daut doesn't have the scout in the right position. Nice block there.
Looks like he may be bringing a villager out himself, though, just now to that bottom pond. So a possible contest against the water and the fishing ships that Andy might be producing in just a moment down there. But either way, as expected, here go the fishing ships of Daut. But they've done what they needed to do and were expected to do.
It's not a forward dock. It is indeed a forward market at the bottom of the map. A very interesting approach from Daut, something we haven't seen yet. But it will give him the opportunity to buy his way up to the next stage. Also interesting that he hasn't sent that villager out to Stone. He usually sends one vill out fairly early and then just lets it collect until he has 200 for another TC.
Right, heavy on gold at the moment, so definitely wants to make use of the market. But FreakinAndy got there first, actually. Take a look at that. Market built at home and able to use it for better prices before Daut could. And FreakinAndy's up to the Castle Age and back to producing fishing ships.
Still has the eco lead, too. Even against Burgundians, like, he still has the economy lead because of those extra 2 villagers, because of the heavy investment onto fish, and he's going to get a lot of fish at the top there. Andy also is a BF player. He's not afraid to go for the fish traps. He knows exactly what he's doing with those, and if he controls that middle area of the water with the fires, Daut won't be able to interrupt that.
Yeah, and as has become the hallmark of a top-tier player, can you fish boom?
Oh, you have
the big
to.
question.
Yeah, it's 100% necessary on some of these maps. If you have a little speck of water, you have to think about ways that you can set up the fish traps.
Without a doubt. All right, Daut does manage to click up here, just a minute and 50 seconds away, also going for a few more of those eco upgrades. I am curious to see what's being produced in the southern pond there. Already a fire galley out here for FreakinAndy, and Daut went for a fishing ship first of all things.
Well, he didn't see the dock, I don't think, from Andy, right? He didn't know, so now that he knows, he can start adding in a fire galley, and there we go. He unqueued the fish, goes for a fire galley. He's going to lose this one. Andy is now adding fish in that bottom pond too, and they're both going to be contesting. Burgundians, you can't let them get like 7 relics here. You just can't, because it generates gold and it generates food. However, from the Burgundian point of view, it's going to be really tough to get those relics against Bengalis, which have a fast-paced unit they can create from the castle, the Ratha, and they have better monks than you.
Much better monks. And we saw, like, to your point, the value of the Burgundian relics in the fortified clearing matchup of Viper versus Heart.
They
right?
paid for Cavalier and Paladin.
It was absolutely insane, the value he got out of bringing that number of relics home. Of course, fewer relics on this map, or not, I take that back, because of the 3 that are in the middle of that pond in the south. So still as much value to be found as we have an engagement between scouts here right along the wood line. Reinforcements arriving just in time to keep FreakinAndy's second scout alive. That's a good pick, and we'll be happy to find it. Also has fire ships in already. Full control on water at the moment, while a second dock comes up here for Daut to try and contest.
Yeah, and it feels like Daut's going to have to get that monastery and some monks to the south to help his ships, but then Andy's just going to do the same thing, right? Both of these civs have a unit they can create from the castle, but both of them cost food and gold. So right now, it feels like they want to put that into their economy. It's going to be a lot easier for Andy because he has the 9 fishing ships behind it. Maybe he can start adding in some Ratha, but right now, just like Cav currently for him, and Daut also with some scouts of his own, he's got 1 Castilian.
Yeah, 9 fishing ships, soon to be 10, just ticked over, and already a 16 eco lead in terms of vills plus fishing ships here for FreakinAndy. We also saw the monastery going up at home, so already thinking about bringing those relics home and stealing them away from the Burgundians. Daut takes a fight on the bottom pond, but it's fire galleys versus fire ships, and that's an easy win here for the Bengalis, and will even have some regen on that near-dead fire ship to boot. A demo also sitting there in the back, just waiting for its opportunity to snipe a transport ship coming in with a monk later.
Did I say Ratha was food?
I think I
did.
You may have.
I'm terrible. I'm an
Yeah, that's it. Hey, can I get a new Coke?
Yeah,
Nilly, it might be time to
We need to order a new one.
Yeah.
We need to order a new one in. Castilla coming over. He's going to snipe the light cav over here, and the TC will go up eventually for Daut. Might want to add in some more walls there, and he might come back again. But look at the eco difference here. Look at the eco difference. It's 56 total economy for Andy. It's 37 for Daut, and that is kind of wild. Okay, demo. Slay, demo.
Come
do
at
your
me.
thing. Do
Come
your
at
thing.
me, bro. Come at me.
Boom.
Woo! You thought you had me. I had you the whole time.
Yeah,
Had him in the
well.
first half. It is still a win for the Fire Galley, but at least the damage is returned. We have a quick delete there so as not to be converted. Light Cav getting healed up, and the Monks are out onto the field. Now, the good news for Daut is he already got onto that second TC while Andy is just reaching for his, but even still, a light years behind on the eco front. And so really grasping at straws right now myself to think about what Daut's going to need to do to get back into this one. Yes, he's got the better upgrades, but we see res collected. He's well behind as the Burgundians.
That's really interesting that Andy is killing that wall into Daut's base, because if he sends, like, a couple Ratha in there wouldn't be that threatening. Daut can just send a couple Monks or whatever, or maybe some Castille. But imagine he seeks some Monks with Ratha in on that side. It's going to get really, really difficult, and both of Daut's golds are up on that side. So, I mean, it might just be something that Andy is setting himself up for later, but if he realizes it's open over there, he could really apply some pressure to Daut's main goals.
Yeah, even just some light cav raids later in the game. Either way, wheelbarrow coming in, stone mining upgrade as well. More Monks looking for conversions. The scouts looking for the snipe, and they will find it before the conversion comes through. One scout dies in response to the Ratha. Both players up to 3 TCs at this point.
The Burgundians are so far behind, though.
So far.
Like, Burgundians have a great eco, but not if you don't have the fish. And Daut hasn't had fish forever, and you can see on the res collected, he's 2,000 resources behind. He's only got 2 relics of his own, and there we go. The light cav raids you were talking about come right through the wall. As soon as Andy got rid of that wall, he's into Daut's base. He's causing some idle time. Might be running around. A lot of players choose to keep their king in an open area, so maybe he took the chance. He's like, hey, man, it might be sitting here.
Yeah, Monk trying to sneak that relic back home just
that's
before it
dead.
dies. Will
That's
go
so dead.
down. At least the relic is inside the wall, so the Burgundians will be able to pick that up in the long run. But while all of this has happened, Daut's been completely cleaned up on the bottom pond, and so no access to those 3 relics either. In the end, I think he's going to be relegated to a total of 2 relics in this game.
Relic gated?
Didn't even try to do that.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a Nilly joke for sure. He's rubbing off on me. He's rubbing off on me. Gillnet's now coming in for Andy, and we have a transport ship. I believe the transport ship is probably in the south to go and grab those relics. Yes, indeed, right after Gillnets, and he can start adding in the fish down there. That fire is hilarious, dude. Okay, so if that fire roasts like a transport ship and 3 Monks,
That'd be nuts.
it's after killing the
So much
demo
value.
too. Yeah, huge value.
Well, it's a 13 health fire galley. That,
I would say upgrade to War Galley, but Daut doesn't have a dock.
couldn't even if he wanted to.
Yeah, so that's going to be an issue for sure, and all the shorelines are being controlled.
That's incredible. In the meantime, Daut, though, what I will say about him as we try to find avenues for him to get back into the game is map understanding, number 1, right? And we've seen him do this multiple times on Copenhagen, is quickly look for control over the center of the map. Yes, expand out with TCs, but also towards that middle section of wood, look for castle control, and then play from there from a strong position.
Yep.
So while behind in the eco, that's what I will look for him to do. But at some point, he's going to have to find damage to equalize because he's essentially behind on all fronts.
Oh, jeez. Andy is, Nilly said Andy is the best quick waller in the game for villagers, single villagers. It used to be Viper's title. I think Viper focuses more on, the macro things. Andy, though, will not give up a villager, and
No way.
they're
Okay,
here.
okay.
Bengali Monks, he's fine.
Good.
But he kills the transport ship? Oh my god, he got the transport ship. How are you getting home? Huh?
There's some kind of joke about 3 Monks stranded on an island. You know?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wilson.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, solid find for Daut. You're at least going to force the investment into another transport before those 3 Monks can make it home. And at the end of the day, I do think FreakinAndy will be able to find them. The Rathas, though, going down to the Coustier.
And they get saved. He's going to pull him back. Looks like there's one that's really, really low, but Daut doesn't choose to take that engagement. Andy's still at 85 villagers. Daut has caught up a little bit. He's at 82, but we have 12 fishing ships in the north, and the Monks are still stranded. This is like a campaign mission or something.
Look at the middle of the map. Two castles being placed at the exact same time, but far more villagers there for Daut going for it. The replay of the quick wall, absolutely brilliant out of FreakinAndy to save that one. That's the villager that was going forward to wall off that section of the wood line and try and centralize the fight to the middle of the map. The Ratha, though, coming forward to push the villagers back here for Daut. So with less villagers, Andy might still be able to manage to get this one up.
Oh, and Daut's got the flank.
A big flank here by the Fusilier. And let's see, now he has vision of that castle. Will he actually be able to get in there and deny it from Andy? It's only 3 villagers looking to put that up, and it's a half-health castle that is no longer.
Yeah, and Andy just deletes it.
Yeah, he knows.
Deletes it. It's at like 30, 40%, and he realizes right away, I'm going to Imperial Age. I can treb this down if I have a second castle in a safer position. Daut's castle is going to be incredibly exposed here. I'm never going to complete that, so that's really, really good commitment there from Andy to just delete that, and he puts it on a beautiful hill that looks like it was absolutely made for a nice little castle down there.
Yeah, great recognition of when you're in a losing position, right? Sometimes the worst thing you can do is overcommit to something.
Exactly, exactly. You got to take your losses and just realize that it's 200-300 stone down the bank, or down the drain.
Likely still in a winning position, but hey, look at that. At the top of your screens, 100 eco to 97. Imperial Age on the way for both players. The big difference is that it's only 30 seconds away for Andy, while we still have 2 minutes and 20 seconds ticking here for Daut.
Did he ever get those relics? I think the monks are back. Okay.
Oh no!
Perfect timing. Hello. Fire galley first to take care of the transport, and then we got Castilier to take care of the monks. He should have just loaded up in the transport again.
You're staring at brain with Daut, though. He was asking
perfect
the question
timing
at the same time you were. I wonder if those monks ever got back. Oh, there they are on the shoreline.
And he was there, man. He was ready.
Beautiful find by Daut to deny the relics for just a little bit longer. But here we are into the Imperial Age for Andy, and the castle is up on that hill, like you mentioned. Already a second castle being placed by Daut in a more defensible, further back position. Going to force Andy to really stretch outside the safety of his castles if he wants to treb that second one down, maybe accepting that it'll be hard to defend the first one he placed.
One big difference between these civs. Andy has to go for trebs, and Daut can go for bombard cannons. So Daut can mix up treb, bombard cannon. However, Andy has really good monks, and Andy has fantastic monk control. So he can use his Bengali monks once he gets redemption, block printing, etc., to somewhat counter those bombard cannons.
Well, that's what we'll look for then throughout the game. 20 seconds away here for Daut when it comes to the Imperial Age click, or hit rather. We're looking for those armor upgrades as well. And 2 trebs, though, already out onto the field for Andy out of 2 castle production. Makes me think that that first castle isn't long for this world. Good cleanup for Daut there along the shoreline.
Yeah, he's just going to buy himself some time. He still needs to get chemistry as well, so it's going to be a long time before he can get those bomber cannons out to deal with the trebs.
All right, Trebs start working away. However, they're in split positions. Yes, underneath castles. Oh, look at this. Andy even coming forward with stone gates.
Oh, that's so nice. Oh, my goodness.
I love that, man. I love that. Just not giving your opponent the easy avenues for comebacks, right? Recognizing that, hey, there's only a couple ways in which I throw this game away at this point, and one of them is by sacrificing 3 Trebs out the gate with my earlier Imperial Age timing. He's going to deny that with the walls as best he possibly can. First castle is down, and now he'll have to take some risk to find purchase onto the second one.
Age of Gates. Now my question is, do you delete these, or do you just permanently set up, what is it, 5, 6 gates in this area, and then you have perfect access, and Daut can never use the mobility of his Castilier?
I think the answer is to go ahead and let them complete. You may as well. It gives you some extra safety. You still have access forward anytime you want. Plenty of Trebs, though, out on the field for Daut at this point as well. So we have equalized just a little bit, and this is where I lean towards Daut's strengths of understanding late game, important areas on the map to pressure, which compositions and which techs he needs to prioritize.
And just now going for the University. That's usually an instant tech when you're Burgundians against Bengalis, right? And they have Trebs on the field. You want to get those bomber cannons out. But instead, Daut went for Elite Castilier tech. He went for Trebs of his own, and he's just slowly working away on the gates. And it's honestly, it's astonishing to me with how far behind he was early that Daut is in this position. And that just speaks to his good decision making, good macro. He's got 3 relics versus 4 from Andy. He's got the castles set up. He's got the control of the golds in the middle. And the emphasis is on Andy now to push, not Daut.
Exactly, and in fact, it is Andy who's just replacing gates and repairing gates to try and stall any of the pressure that Daut might send his way. Looks like he's still building up those military numbers, right? 3 Halberdiers, 3 Rathas. It's not really enough to push forward and protect any number of Trebs.
2 transport ships from Andy. We know where one of them is. Where there's a blue. Okay.
Okay. There's the
I'm
one.
questioning that,
Yeah,
but maybe we'll see something. Maybe we'll see him cooking up a strategy later with that.
A couple things I've noticed as well. 1 Elephant Archer created here by FreakinAndy. A few more now in the queue.
Fortified wall.
Going for Fortified Wall. Daut dropping a dock on the northern side, it looks like, there in the center of
There's
the
a
map.
fire patrolling.
Fire patrolling.
And he should be able to find that. Yep.
He finds it.
Yeah. Just keep that patrolling back and forth. It would be nice if he saw that. If those villagers are at the right angle, that fire can't actually deny the dock, but he's still going to get vision on that, which is good. It is a stalematey game right now. Now, Andy can go into Elephant Archer, which is incredibly powerful. But it takes a very large economy. He's got 60 on food, and 60 on food a lot of times for Elephant Archer isn't even enough.
Right.
As weird as that sounds.
No, you're looking for the Hera 80 Farms-esque type
Yeah,
eco.
and then even that, Daut can just go skirm and pick them off one by one, and eventually you're going to run out of resources.
Yeah, but as it stands, it looks like he feels that Halberdier and Battle Elf or Elephant Archers is going to be the play for him with 11 monks behind. So you talked about the micro of the monks. It's going to need to be on point as the numbers keep climbing here for Daut with the Custelier up to 36.
Even Mahayana coming in early from Andy, so he's pop capped. He's 200 out of 200, but we do have the unique tech here for the Bengalis, and you can see that villagers and monks take 10% less population space. Usually the monks don't matter, but maybe late game Andy, these monks are actually going to matter. Like, that's 1.1 additional pop space.
Yeah, hey, we'll take it. Any little ounce of advantage you can find, you will take in a game of Age of Empires between top 10 players in the world. I will call out one thing, 162 eco units here for Andy, and that's where maybe saving some of that pop space comes into handy, because he still has 43 military units out onto the field. Big engagement here, though.
Before Elite Elephant Archer, too.
Before Elite Elephant Archer, yes, but into the waiting arms of some Halberdiers. This could be tough in a choke point here as the Custelier are trying to find good hits. Of course, they do have those charge attacks, so their initial threat is going to be large, but that will taper off as the fight continues. We have 10 cannoneers behind, and there are the bombard cannons finding great shots onto a group of elephants here by Daut. He looks to get some ground in the push, but doesn't necessarily have, it looks like, the numbers to take out these elephants and continue onwards.
You just can't kill him. Like, he killed the 2 Trebs on the left side, which was beautiful, right, with the bombard cannons, but bombard cannons don't get the necessary splash damage to kill a big group of Elephant Archers, and the Castilier, like you said, are really powerful at the beginning, but they start to taper off once that charge attack goes. So as long as Andy has enough Halbs coming forward, the Elephant Archers should be able to clear this army. However, Daut still has his siege, and Andy doesn't really have many melee units or siege of his own to clear the bombard cannons and the Trebs on that side. So that means Daut is still working away on that castle to the left, and Daut has really solid production. He's got the skirmishers out now, sniping the Elephant Archers. Andy will struggle to keep up the production.
Yeah, 7 archery ranges pumping out elite skirmishers as we speak, and those numbers are climbing up to 24 now here for Daut. A fantastic and cheap unit overall for him to use against those elite Elephant Archers. The Elephant Archers, of course, will win out the trade in the 1v1, but you're happy to take efficient trades in a map like this when there is a stalemate kind of situation in the middle of the map. All those Trebs already take out 1 castle here from Andy, and it feels like the pressure might be too much for him in the end here, Dave.
Yeah, and those Trebs are just putting in work behind there. I love the fact that Daut's not even trying to mess around with getting attack rounds on the elephants. He knows it's not the priority right now. The priority is pushing on the left side and opening a hole for his Castilier to come in. That's a lot of exposed farm eco. Andy does not have the mobility he needs to deal with that, and Andy never got a chance to get up to that big, massive Elephant Archers. Daut didn't give him an inch.
Yeah, my units might taper off in an elongated battle against elephants, but they'll do just great against
and there's
their economy
the king
in the back.
Where is the king going?
Where's the king?
He's lost!
Okay, it's just the tower. He's on his way elsewhere. Hopefully Andy is tracking that and is able to send it somewhere safe, perhaps to one of his castles in the south. Does wall up behind, so Daut shouldn't be able to track it too easily. Elephants still trying their best to hold strong here on the front lines, but the Custelier are still wreaking havoc in the eco in the back. Now, to some degree, with 153 eco units out there still, maybe Andy isn't too mad about that, but he needs to get the Q up. Daut pop capped. Andy only at 170 out of 200.
Did you see that heart rate? Spiked up a little bit when that king was running towards Daut's base. Heart rate goes up just a little bit there. He's built a castle at the back of his base for that king, and we can see light cav now being mixed in from Andy, but it's taken him some time to get those techs. We have the second armor only coming in for the light cav. The elephant archers are still trying to hold the line here, and it's a lack of units from Daut, but he's done a lot of damage with the Castilier inside, and it was such a smart decision for him to just punch a hole and distract.
Yeah, and like a well-oiled machine, as soon as he sees a few numbers of light cav come streaming out, you already see the investment into the infantry upgrades there for Daut. Hasn't even produced any spearmen, but just setting himself up to do so in the long run if he needs to have a mass of pikes or something to counter some of those cavalry units. Either way, it looks like the composition he has might be enough as he continues to push up the gut and towards that secondary castle position here from Andy, even placing a more aggressive one for himself just to make sure he has the safety to roll forward with 5 trebs and 3 bombard cannons.
So patient. He's been so patient with the siege. Like, the trebs have never been exposed here. The bombard cannons have been staying back, and now they're finding some decent shots against the elephant archers, but they basically just been working on the buildings. The skirmishers are taking out the elephant archers one by one, so Andy can never get that terrible mass. And then the Castilier are either running into raid or they're just holding the line in front of the skirms. Really beautiful play from Daut, and it feels like he's in a position soon, once that castle goes down, to take this game.
Absolutely. Another thing to take note of at the top of your screens is just the resource banks for each of these players. Daut sitting pretty. He could produce units for days, even if he deleted every single one of his villagers. Andy is strapped for food at the moment, and only 1 villager on gold.
Yeah, it's another castle here from Daut. Architecture even coming in from Andy. He knows he needs to hold this castle position. Fortunately, he does have 700 stone in the bank, but we can see that dropping at a ferocious rate. He's still trying to mass up elephant archers. He really needed like 25 of them, but I don't think he ever got above like 15.
Right, we see there 14 at the moment. Still streaming some units in to try and defend, but doesn't have the numbers that they fall as quickly as they're made. The castle under fire. Plenty of villagers trying to repair. It is sitting on a hill, so that is going to be helpful, but Daut has had the freedom to drop yet another Burgundian castle up in the face of his opponent. Architecture will help just slightly for Andy. He's trying desperately to hold on here in game number 1, but Daut looks like he's in a position to take it cleanly.
Andy still has 68 on food somehow. I mean, there is 12 fishing ships, but it's an impressive job with limited space. Like, if Daut breaks that castle, he's in on all of these farms, and he's even sending the Castilier back there. The king is fully walled in. Andy doesn't want to mess around with that.
Hey, look, if you're going to lose this map, you're not going to lose it by losing the king. All right, I'll GG before I let that happen kind of situation. Yes, there are some extra castles back there to protect some of the farming eco, and that is what's keeping Andy alive so far in this game. The ability to keep a few of those elite elephants out there, but from 14 down to 12, the numbers just aren't there. It's light cav and halberdier. The monks are also gone, and no more stone means this castle's not long for this world.
He started at 850, and now he's out of stone on that castle. We got 20k plus damage taken. The trebs are still working away for Daut. And I mean, I don't really see the solution for Andy. Daut's now taking in the halberdier too, so Andy can't just go light cav spam. You know what would be, now this is the part where I start cooking here.
Okay.
You know what would be a great
Cook
play?
away.
Siege tower, load up 10 skirms in it. You saw the king, roll it right to the back.
Yes, chef.
Sign
me up for that dish.
Not for unloading over the walls, but for the safety and for the swag.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That would be sick. Either way, Daut's going to go for the more sure approach, which is just to complete his tech lottery here. Grabbing halberdier, going to grab the final infantry armor upgrade as well, even though he's only got 8 halberdiers on the field. Continues to roll forward with these forces. Yes, Andy's managing to keep himself just above 150 pop, but it just doesn't seem enough. And at the end of the day, when you have no more castles to fall back to, your eco's about to fall to the raids here from Daut, waiting for the GG call.
And Andy plays on for the time being. I mean, he's still got 160 pop. He just got Elite Skirm as well, so he's shifting into a full trash composition here. He still has the Elephant Archers. You can see those 11 Elephant Archers, 40 kills on those. So they've gotten an insane amount of value, but the problem is it's never more than 11 to 15. That seems like the sweet spot for Andy. He needs it to be like 20, and he's never been able to get there because Daut is targeting them one by one.
I was going to say, great awareness by Daut, right? In these really chaotic late-game fights, it's easy to just patrol your skirmishers in. They're hitting halberdiers, yes, still effective, or they're hitting buildings and not targeting onto those elephants, but making sure that he target fires one down at a time, keeps those numbers low, and keeps Andy out of the game.
Also, it would be sick if he... I'm just thinking of really cool ways to snipe the king. It would be sick if he rolled a Treb right to the edge of the map and then targeted the king from like 16 tiles away.
Over/under number of shots it would take till it lands.
If it's Daut, it's probably first shot.
Okay, all
yeah,
right.
it's either first shot or it's 101st shot. And he's just screaming
losing
at the
his
Treb.
mind. What?
Yeah.
How does this happen?
Yeah, it's either easy or like, man, I'm so unlucky.
Too good, too good. Well, once again, inch by inch here, Daut is just whittling him down. He'll be patient. It looks like that's going to be enough for FreakinAndy. He calls it GG in game number 1. Daut has found himself an advantage in this set.
What a terrible position he was in early, too. Andy had like plus, what, 15
30
eco units?
I think it was up to 30 at one point.
Yeah, and he had like 2K, 3K more res collected. It felt like he was gaining control of everything. He had control of the pond. He got the relics on the bottom. But it was just the perfect eco balance from Daut. The timing to Imperial Age a little bit later than Andy, but he got the forward castles up. He got the gold in the center, and Andy never managed to do anything.
Yeah, and he gave up that first castle position, right, to the Trebs of Andy. He understood, okay, maybe the worst thing I can do is try to defend this castle and never get my own numbers up, and now I get steamrolled by the player who made it to the Imperial Age first. And instead, he plays patiently, he plays the map, and ends up with a win here. Burgundians over the first pick of Bengalis here from FreakinAndy, and once again, I gotta wonder how that's going to affect the rest of the series, because for me, Bengalis possibly better positioned on a map like Northern Crossing, and you don't have that as an option anymore.
He's sticking his head out the window again. He's like, ooh, big man warm.
Some fresh air, yeah.
Big man hot.
It's not enough oxygen.
Just give me a second here. Yeah, give me a second here.
Too funny.
All right, so we probably go on to one of Andy's home maps. Shoals and Northern Crossings for him. Interesting. I maybe banned out some of the more closed maps like Canberra, you know, the really, really close ones, because he doesn't want to mess around with that stuff against Andy. But Andy, you know, showing that he's very comfortable on the water ones too.
Well, yeah, and again, I think the Northern Crossing is just a comfort map coming off of the victory against Hart yesterday, where he had that really intelligent and creative forward dock play to get an advantage and kind of steamroll to victory. Now, obviously, Daut will have seen that game and is aware of that possibility, so should guard against it, but that gives FreakinAndy options, right? Now he could play a more eco-focused game on Northern Crossings as well.
If we go Northern Crossings, it's gotta be Koreans.
That's my
right?
thought. It has to be.
It's gotta be Koreans, but then we're looking Dravidians for Daut is pretty dangerous on that map. No Armenians here. You can see Andy banned that out.
Malay also
Malay's gone.
gone.
Byzantine's gone.
Yeah, and then, of course, in the random bans, Italians were removed, even Romans, right, if you wanted to try and stretch for something like that. Portuguese also gone, right, which would be another option there on Northern Crossing. So, yeah, a lot of those hybrid map civs were removed, and this is what's causing the players to reach for some others.
I think Andy also sits so far. Like, Andy is not a small
His chair
dude.
is just low,
It's
too.
just low,
Like,
yeah.
Daut actually is sitting up very high. Well, that's because, you know, otherwise his knees would be hitting the desk or something, I guess. I don't know.
I like how he always looks down on his monitor, too, like from an aggressive angle.
Right?
Like, he's looking down on all the players that he's playing.
But he doesn't have, like, a super egregious gamer, like, lean or neck either.
Well, I
you know,
mean,
for
I
the
don't
fact
think you
that he's
can
looking
make it
down.
to like 38 or whatever Daut is
It'd
with
be
a
a pro
super
still.
egregious gamer lean.
How would you rate yours? Mine's actually pretty egregious.
I think I've gotten better over the years. Like, there was a period there where it was bad.
Okay.
Like, it was real bad. And then, you know, I had some back pain, and I kind of got it figured out.
Nice. Okay, yeah. I'm good out of game, but the moment I enter a game,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a deep forward lean that's never good for me. So something I got to work on. Maybe I got to get a GL backforce chair. Who knows?
All right, so it looks like they're into the game. We should be joining them shortly. So probably going to be one of Andy's home maps, so either Shoals or Northern Crossings. We talked about Koreans before. Andy has a Civ like Malians for something like Shoals. Daut, however, has Dravidians on his side, so that could be what we see. And it's actually going to be Shoals here, and it's going to be Saracens for Andy, and then Gujaras for Daut. I haven't seen Gujaras on Shoals in a long time.
Nor have I, even, not so much played across any of our maps here so far in the main event. Has snuck through once or twice. But that up against a very strong Civ in Saracens, right? We've already seen what Saracens are capable of. And these just the best camels in the game in terms of pound-for-pound power. And then, of course, Mamelukes as your late-game insurance if you ever do need to get there. Happy as well to play on the water, as you see there. Galleys attacking 25% faster. And then market. Market. I'm sure Daut would have liked to have Saracens in his draft, but it'll be FreakinAndy playing it instead.
Yeah, and then if we look over at the other side at the Gujaras, one of the key things here on this map, because you have that that sea tower that's far away from the shorefish, and the map is scripted like that, it's really, really useful to be able to garrison your fish into the docks. And that's something that a lot of people forget about. They always remember the herdables being garrisoned in the middle, but they forget that they can just save their fish if their opponent is over there, and it gives you time to bring the Navy over to protect.
It's a great call out on this map because there's always a question about how much are you really going to invest in water and removing the fish of your opponent, given the safety that that tower can sometimes provide, but also now the added safety for the Gujaras of being able to load up their fish for as long as you're trying to harass them.
What do you do late game with Gujaras against Saracens?
Raid. That's like the only thing.
I mean, at raid, camels are decent as well. It's the battle of the HP versus the extra bonus damage in armor.
Yeah,
I suppose. But I guess you're just going to be fighting over these gold positions a lot of the time.
Yeah, and that's where I guess again for Daut, it's like I'll just lean into then more his ability or understanding of where he needs to put his focus and maximizing, or rather being ultra efficient with his allocation of units to one area or the other to try and manage and control both of those important gold spots.
I think water actually might come into play too. If we look at these gold spots, like sometimes the gold spots are a little bit further away from the water, but these ones are actually quite close. The main ones on the side are quite close there, so you can control a lot, and that Saracens galleons are absolutely brutal with the extra attack speed in the late game.
That gold off to the right of Daut, I think that one's fairly defensible, right? Easy walls right between those two wood lines, so that'll feel good for him, and then he can wall from there to the TC. We see Andy already walling towards his TC and could perhaps protect that back gold as well. Has very safe berries to work with, but for now the focus is on pushing those deer and getting the fishing ships out onto the map. Loom already completed here for Daut, and if he can get that last 60 food he needs, a click will follow. He queued up one more villager, though, it looks like, just to ensure he gets there without too much idle.
Kind of feels like an FC build for both, right?
Well, yeah, we'll be at 25, 27 eco units even for Andy here.
It's always tough to figure out on the Nineville start, especially with the fishing ships on shorefish, because it's a very, very slow gathering, right? So it's like they click, and you're thinking, can they make it up? Can they do it? And then, of course, you see 36 food in the bank, but they've got villagers with 30 food in their arms hunting, and then they just drop off, and you're like, all right, they can make it.
Honestly, a bit of a risk taken here for Andy. I think it'll pay off for him. No loom before clicking up, right? Playing into the idea that his opponent is also going to have more of a Castle Age-oriented play, and so we'll get loom upon reaching the feudal age. Already a minute on the clock until he gets there.
It's not FC. It might be FC for Daut, but I don't think it is for Andy. He's just simply not going to have it. Well, he is Saracens. Never mind. He is Saracens. I forgot about that very valuable fact that he can use that market and maybe buy himself up if he needs to. And now the food count is looking a lot more solid. He's still got the fishing ships there. He's still pushing in some deer. There's a lot of deer at the front side. He's gone for the barracks, and he might go stable market.
Yeah, with the barracks and only 73 wood at the moment. Of course, 12 on wood and 10 seconds to go till feudal age. But as it stands, wouldn't even be able to produce any building upon reaching the feudal age. Daut on the other side, of course, putting up a barracks as well. 45 seconds to go till he reaches the feudal edge. Good scouting there to catch the gold. That's going to be some very important info here for Daut.
Andy didn't have loom, right?
I don't believe so, because he had 100 gold when he clicked.
Yeah, but there's 3 villagers there. But I mean, once Daut gets to feudal, look, he's hanging out there. He's hanging out, and Andy's like, "Yo, where you at?" He goes to the market, and he's just gonna wall this. No, he still doesn't have loom, guys. He still doesn't have loom. We know Andy can quick wall like a god. Okay, he got it at some point. No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't have it, but it is just a camel scout. Now,
he's got the feudal upgrades. He's got the feudal upgrades. Andy saved that villager. He's going to attempt to save this one. Ooh. Daut's not going to let him get away with that, and Daut's going to punish him for not getting loom before going up to the next age. However, it's only 1 villager lost overall from Andy, but that's good recognition from Daut to check those villagers and then wait till feudal age to come in and attack.
Yeah, that's a fantastic early win here for Daut. Also delays the market, right? At the very least, you're keeping the Saracen player away from the market abuse for that much longer. Daut, on the other hand, is going to get that blacksmith up at home. And from here, it's just 1 fire galley produced for Daut. Nothing on water here for FreakinAndy.
Yeah, nothing on water yet. And remember, he does have that sea tower he can retreat to, right? So only 1 fire galley. He can just kind of pull the fishing ships back. And that sea tower, I believe it has like 9 bonus damage against ships.
It's ridiculous.
And multiple arrows. It's kind of
He's
wild,
really far
actually.
from it, though.
Yeah, there we go. 9 bonus damage against ships, and it's got 3 arrows that it fires at a time.
Yeah,
so it's really, really
that's
powerful.
not usefully placed near his dock. I feel like Daut's at the very least just going to be able to shove him off a fish. You might not be able to kill him, but they're just going to become idle in a large part, I think. Castle Age on the way for both players, though, as well. So although Andy sustained just a little bit of damage there in feudal, still makes it to castle, no problem.
I am an idle fire ship. Idling is what I do, and I miss the fishing ships all day.
There we go. Ooh, got
as I sail away for you.
Oh, no, he's going to go all the way to the other side. If he finds that tower, he'll probably think the dock is somewhere underneath the tower.
And Andy, just casually walking out there for the TC. Of course, he's got loom now, so he should be a little bit more safe. He's got a spearman coming forward, and he's trying to track the movements from Daut and see if he's going to go town center the gold on the left.
Yeah, but Daut actually taking this opportunity to invest more onto water. 7 fishing ships, 2 docks, 2 more fishing ships in the queue.
That's kind of crazy. Like, the amount of investment on water for just shorefish.
Right?
Yeah, especially, like, going fish traps on this map is not the greatest because they're very vulnerable, and there's so many opportunities from land and sea to kill those fish traps. Like, even a spearman can walk along most of the time and snipe a few traps. So it's really, really interesting that Daut is investing so much in that.
The first kill that fire galley finds is a spearman before it even locates the fishing ships of
It doesn't know.
Andy.
They don't exist. And now it's finding the tower. And Andy is like, all right, man, that's pretty cool. So Daut will finally find the fish. Andy will simply run away. Daut is going to be tracking those, but Andy will probably try and bait those back into the tower. First TC, or additional TC, goes up on the gold from Andy, and then there's another one at home. So he's going to have 3 town centers. Daut is going to have 2. Because he added the fish, he can't quite afford the 3rd.
Yeah, not just yet. But he is taking advantage of his initiative here in the center of the map, even bringing the scouts and the camel through. Going to continue to harass these fishing ships, but there is a fire galley in response here from FreakinAndy, and of course, always the safety of that tower. 3 TCs here for Andy, with 2 at home, 1 on the right-hand side, and then of course for Daut, just 2 TCs at the moment, like we mentioned. I'm sure he'll reach for the 3rd as soon as humanly possible.
Res collected is significantly ahead for Daut here, even with that Saracen market coming into play. So you can see the fish and the generation from the mill and all of the, staying in Dark Age a little bit longer, benefiting Daut at this point. But Andy is the first player out to the additional golds. He's got that town center set up, and he's got scouts patrolling around, looking potentially for some monks or some villagers from Daut. At some point, Daut is going to need to stretch out to those areas on the sides. And I just kind of wonder at what point does that happen.
Yeah, even going for the conservative 3rd TC at the back of his base here. As he scouts out the fire galley that came forward to harass his fish, he'll make quick work of that one with better numbers and having already half-healthed it by virtue of his tower.
Yeah, nothing's going on in water here. We're just going to have these fire galleys roaming around, and most of the fish are going to be safe for the foreseeable future. As Andy adds in his first monk, certainly won't be the last. And Andy just using that market pretty heavily to balance the eco.
Yeah. So from here, I think my big question becomes about what Andy can do to prevent Daut from effectively getting on to one of those two sides. Right?
I don't think you can prevent him altogether.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to get out there. I think what you have to do is try and get the faster Imperial Age and try and get your castle set up faster than him, right? So you can push him back. Long term, though, Daut will always get a town center over on this side, or he'll always get a piece of the gold on your side. I don't know if you're ever going to fully prevent him.
That's the loudest crocodile or alligator. What are they? Alligator?
That thing was
hissing that I've ever heard.
Do they hiss?
That's the thing. I was like, is that even the sound that those things make?
I think they do.
We should ask T90. He lives in Florida. He probably has one of those in his backyard.
True. It's in his swimming pool. You didn't see the video?
It's his pet. Yeah, I did see that video.
Yeah. He completely jumped it. He got that guy. Yeah. He took him
go
down.
for the head, man. Clamp down on the jaws. You're good. Either way, we saw some monk conversions attempting to come through. Still control on the water here for Daut, and a very slight eco lead. But Andy was the first one to get out to those sides. A lot of gold in the bank here for Daut with just 2 villagers on gold. Hasn't used much of it at all.
Very slow game.
Very slow.
Very, very slow game. Second villager kill timestamp dash. Next villager that goes down.
Next villager that goes down in 2.5 minutes from now. So what would that be? 21.
21? Okay. I said 23, 24.
23, 24.
23, 24.
Okay.
Join in at home.
Yeah, I already hate my guess, to be honest. Because
no, they're not even going to see each other.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pips. Okay, wait, here's my opportunity.
What was the actual timestamp of your...
I said 21, though. This is like 2 minutes early here. But, okay, he's going to camp out for 2 minutes.
Yep, he's chilling.
No, don't do it yet.
It'll take him 2 minutes to kill a villa here.
Actually might, because there's going to be a big dance, right?
I mean...
As long as Daut,
it's...
Fight him off, Daut. Fight him off, Daut.
That was a good guess, though. Like, that was closer than anyone else thought, for sure.
Wasn't awful.
Yeah.
Wasn't awful. But in the end, Price is Right rules, we're all losers.
Exactly.
So.
All right, Daut's coming forward.
Oh, and going to the same side.
Going for a town center. Yeah, and I wonder if he scouted Andy's position here.
I think he did because there was a monk trying to convert one of his units earlier over here, so he should be aware of it, but he just opts into it. He says, hey, I've got the fish boom, so I feel like maybe if we go to the same side, I'm going to win out in the race to the Imperial Age and ultimately be able to push you off of this position.
Ooh, Andy can switch over to the Shravamsha with the monks, and the Shravamsha get converted really, really quickly because he was charging up against the scouts. And Andy has 444 stone, and he's Saracen, so he extremely casually buys an additional 200. Daut's TC over here, it's not happening.
No.
It's simply not happening.
I mean, luckily brought enough villagers to get it up, but he might regret that as soon as it completes because he's about to see a Castle Foundation doing a great job of dancing here to try and prevent it. Andy repositions and will eventually get this down.
Yeah, and that's probably even a better castle overall. But, I mean, Daut felt pretty cool when he was trying to deny that. He's like, look at what I'm doing. Look at what I'm doing. I can do this too. And he's realizing now that he needs to probably extend to the other side. We look at the villagers. Andy is actually ahead in villagers currently. And the total res collected, Andy is not too far behind Daut, even with the fishing ship discrepancy.
Look at that. Daut just full sail, right? Just ejects all the villagers.
Well, you got it.
I'm out of here.
You can't hang out there.
Yeah.
Like, that's just trouble. That's a bad neighborhood over there. Daut's going to shift, buy some real estate somewhere else.
Yeah, he quickly dropped another TC on the other side. It'll take a little while for it to go up, but already thinking about repositioning to that all-important gold. Villager getting harassed here by a scout and likely will go down without any support.
What did I say, 23-24? That's close for this. This is the one I was thinking about. The other one was an anomaly. It never should have happened.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what, tell yourself that when you go to bed tonight. Let's see here. Monks looking for some conversions, trying to get the units back that he lost earlier. Even a Mameluke also already out onto the field. Now Monks looking for some conversions the other way. It's just a dance.
Stone.
That's insane.
And you know what? Like, he's in a position with Saracens where he can just kind of casually sell that and buy his way up. There we go. He's selling stone. He's selling stone. He's selling stone. He's buying food, and he's almost in a position to click to Imperial Age. And he knows that Daut is not on the gold in the northeast over there, so he's going to check the other gold and might even decide to castle drop that gold at the bottom and kick Daut off before he can get a castle of his own.
Wow, Daut just sold 1,000 wood there to try and get some gold himself and put himself in position to make it to the Imperial Age. There's the click, though, for FreakinAndy, so he'll be the one who gets there first. No castle on the field here for Daut, so I assume he's also building his Castle Age buildings over on the left there to make sure that he can click up to the Imperial Age in due time.
Yeah, I'm surprised Andy hasn't come forward. Oh, he's going dock. Okay, so Andy is going to take control of the water here.
I like it.
And that can be really powerful with the way that these golds on the sides are set up. There's a lot of surface area you can cover with not only galleons, but also cannon galleons. And then, you know, you can start a slow push from your own base. You see Andy making another castle defensively with trebs and whatnot. And Daut's going to really, really struggle to find available gold if Andy has the naval pressure.
Yeah, really smart by Andy to put up that defensive castle on the other side, as he clearly wants the focus to be over here on the right, where we've been pretty much all game. We'll see how many docks he decides to put up in the end. Already has a couple fire galleys out harassing that fish that have done good work for Daut over the course of the game, but Andy has continued to have those eco unit numbers climb up to 115 to the 99.
What are they walking with? Oh, there's a monk in there. I was like, why is that Mameluke walking so slow? He's injured or something. Fun fact, actually, Elite Mameluke versus Shirvamsha. The Shirvamsha wins the 1v1.
Straight up 1v1?
Yeah, because it never gets through the dodge mechanic. It doesn't fire fast enough. So in large groups, obviously not conducive. Like, it's not a good matchup for the Shirvamsha, but in small numbers, it's very, very solid.
That's intriguing. How'd you find that out? You were in a matchup yourself and saw that, or?
I saw a clip of it because I was absolutely outraged when the unit was first released. I was like, this thing is so stupid. And then, of course, you know, you're looking for rage bait, you know, oh my God, I can't even beat a Mameluke.
Too good.
What is this?
All right, well, fire ships out onto the field, and all of those fishing ships are beginning to disappear, trying to retreat to the safety of that tower, but I think the numbers are strong enough here at this point for FreakinAndy that he can move in and remove it from the map.
Yeah, that sea tower's done, and the stables are going up from Daut. So Daut is going to get Kshatriyas, and that will mean less food costs for his units. Andy will go for another castle over there. He's still pretty secure on the left side because of the defensive castle. And now he's getting all of his cavalry techs and just pushing forward. He's just focusing fully on this right side. Daut will need to go for a defensive castle to defend himself.
Yep. Second castle being dropped there. So good defensible position with two castles close to each other. And great positions for his trebs to be, but of course
he is really expediting that castle.
Yeah,
he really wants that. How many villagers is he building that with? A casual 34.
Yep.
Okay.
Why not? I mean, hey, he needs to make sure he gets it up and have that position. Even still, he's going to be behind rather in the production of the trebs, with two just about to come out onto the field here for Andy, and only one at the moment here for Daut. So all focus here on this position on the map. And of course, while all of this is happening, FreakinAndy is taking further control on the water, and we'll begin to see what those galleys can do from the shorelines, right?
He's going to have chemistry in 30 seconds. So that's cannon galleon material right there, and he's going to be pushing back those castles easily. Also, another tech that we don't see too often, we're beginning to see it a little bit more, is counterweights for the Saracens. And now he needs a better economy for that. He needs more resources in the bank, but it does add a little bit of attack for the trebuchets and for the mangonels, which can be really, really valuable.
Yeah, Andy, though, understanding the importance of this forward position, already has Vils repairing that castle, is going for masonry as well on top of that to make sure the durability of that castle is that much greater.
Cannon galleons. Here we go.
Wow.
Right away, instantly. So many players, you know, they wait minutes to add that, but Andy, that's part of his game plan, clearly.
Right, and the value of even two of them, right? Just because they're untouchable.
Exactly.
That's the main thing, is just how untouchable they are. Obviously, their damage output is pretty low, but you leave them untouched for 10 minutes, and they'll make...
Pretty good against trebs, too. I wonder if you attack ground in the center there. Andy is just going to right-click, but if he attack ground in the center, I wonder what he would do. Oh, Andy! Dodge.
Good
okay,
micro.
Shoot. Dodge. Dodged. Oh, that's a stray shot. Oh, man, that whizzed right past the sailor.
Yeah, somebody on the deck just lost their head, but everybody else lives for it. Good job by Daut to get the repairs out on these trebs, but I don't think he has enough villagers there to keep them all alive, and would have to micro like a madman in order to do it. The castle, though, FreakinAndy does go down in the end. So one castle for one castle between each player. And now those Trebs are kind of exposed here to the camels of the Gujaras.
Yeah, Trebs are a little bit exposed, but we do have camels here, and we do have monks as well from Andy. So Daut decides he can't really take that fight. He's going to have to back up, and the cannon galleons are still working away on the buildings and the units, but the camels are going to kill it.
Hey,
bonus damage.
Yeah, one gets baited in. Still one more out there in the deep sea that can fire away on the castle. Andy's going to retreat here. Doesn't want to take the fight underneath the castle with those remaining camels and monk. A bit of a stall out. Daut has done a good job of getting a castle fortification on the left-hand side as well, and still has a ton of access to gold. So while the initiative is there for Andy and has control of maybe 10% more of the map, he hasn't really threatened any of Daut's.
Yeah, he hasn't stopped them taking gold at all.
Yeah.
No, but he is still pushing, and what he is doing is forcing all of Daut's attention to be on this area. Like, Daut can't afford to go for a counterattack, can't really afford to set up on the other golds. He can't really afford to go water either. Like, it's all in on this defense.
Yeah, did I just watch Castle Age camels beat heavy camels? I mean, I know the upgrades aren't exactly the same, but Saracen camels are nuts.
Yeah, well, I mean, Gujara camels are crazy too, right?
Yeah.
And counterweights is on the way, in addition to siege engineers. So we'll have to take a look at these Trebs after counterweights is in. They're going to be the most powerful Trebs kind of in the game, unless you're talking about Warwolf or something like that from the Britons. But in terms of raw attack power, these things are crazy. And the camels
heavy
just
camel
completely rip.
Yeah, heavy camel gets heavy camel, and now the Saracen player is +1 on the upgrades, even +2 rather, with iron casting and the final armor upgrade. The castle goes down. That means the eco is exposed. The villagers need to run for their lives, and the numbers are looking good here for FreakinAndy. 39 military to 12, 150 villagers
it's
to
over.
134, and Daut knows it's over. He calls the GG.
And that's one of the fastest Shoals games you'll see, and it's weird too because it felt like, other than going out to that gold on the right side, everything went according to plan there for Daut. He even sniped a villager early. His fishing ships didn't get hit at all. He was harassing the fish from Andy, and it still ended up like that. So maybe just Gujara's not the greatest matchup.
Maybe, and the only other thing I'd say is that akin to the first game, I think Andy actually did a better job of land booming, right? I mean, he did ultimately catch up in the eco numbers, even though the fishing ships were quite clean there for Daut. And so maybe there's an excessive amount of idle time somewhere, a small lapse in the eco boost there for Daut. Either way, I think the castle placement for Andy to deny that initial reach out to the right-hand side and just delaying Daut and forcing him to move to the other may have been enough to create that, 1 minute separation in Imperial Age timings?
Even if Daut gets a position on the other side, like, it's just so, it feels like Andy has all the timing there, right? He's faster to imp. He's got the water control as well. Daut never even attempted to go for that. Something went wrong there, or there were some calculations made by Daut before the game even started with the civs that just didn't play out.
Also tech priorities maybe, right? It's like you talked about how normally players wait so long for something like a cannon galleon. And those cannon galleons are what removed Daut's Trebs from the field. And you have no option of response unless you get a lucky Treb shot. So again, that's, I think, credit to Andy as a player, where he will think of kind of those small percentage things that other player, it is a winning move, but only in a few cases. And then when he sees that one use case pop up, he goes, I'm going to go for it. And he doesn't delay in that decision. So good on him to pick up the win on his home map and move the series to 1-1. For Daut, though, he'll have the option to choose between the 3 remaining maps of where we go next.
So I think he's going to go to one of his home maps. Now, do you go to Langanati or do you go to Desert Void? We haven't seen Desert Void yet.
Desert Void just because I want to see it.
Yeah. And Nilly said there were some changes made to the map where they removed, from the qualifiers, they removed like the back gold spawn. So you can't just wall to the edge consistently and go FC. I'm sure Daut has practiced on the new one, obviously.
Would assume as
in
much.
the weeks leading up. But I would hope that we see Desert Void here, or we're going to see Langanati. Either way, Daut should be favored on these. They're a bit of more of an open land map, and that's where he really shines. Andy wanting to keep things away from his economy.
Exactly. Fingers already firing away. Look at how animated Andy's fingers are, man.
Yeah.
On that left down the keyboard. It's like a full slap of each key.
He's got that nice little waddle with the...
Right. I feel like I would lose my hand position so quickly with how, like, he's got like an inch and a half between his fingers and the keyboard. Either way,
Gamer.
he's the pro. I'm not. Aztecs here for Daut on NAC. That's where we're going next. For FreakinAndy, it will be the Malians in response.
Yeah, Aztecs here, interesting for Daut, more of a kind of old school approach. Andy going for the Malians, and Andy already sending the villagers forward, and Daut is really far forward with his Eagle really early, potentially looking for those villagers, potentially looking for a lame of some kind. We saw him lose the Eagle in an earlier set against Leary.
Yep, he's going to spot him right here.
Especially against Andy, like there is a small chance that he gets his Eagle walled in.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I would love to see it. But the dock will start to go down here for Andy, and since he does have the 2 villagers, should be relatively safe. Malians is a very standard and common pick on this map, even going
nice
for
loom timing.
Exactly, to be ultra safe. But Malians is kind of a pro pick favorite here on this map. The Aztecs, while lesser picked, still falls within kind of the GL inclination of Mezzo Civs on this map.
Yeah, that was a really bad engagement for Daut. Normally, the Eagle wins the 1v1 against the Scout in Dark Age, but Daut actually got 2 hits against him, and now because of it, and because Andy has Loom, and that's probably part of the reason Andy got Loom, not just to protect against the Eagle, but to push Daut off of the dock. So he's already completed a lot of that dock. However, Andy is the first player with a fishing ship out, and he's going to continue to wall this off and just harass, and this is classic FreakinAndy play. He wants to get into this villager war. This is where he's at his best.
Yeah, needs to be careful not to overreach, though. Now he brings his scout back just to make sure that his villagers aren't left up a creek without a paddle. Daut will eventually get this dock down, as he was forced to go for Loom as well himself to match the Loom of FreakinAndy.
Yeah, and that Eagle's too weak to do anything now. It's just too weak. He took those 2 hits. He couldn't take the engagement against the Scout, and then he gets pushed off the dock, and it's just an annoying start. It's not a terrible start.
No.
It's just a little bit frustrating.
Right, exactly. And in all that time, FreakinAndy got the early fishing ship out ahead of Daut, and, an extra food trip there. So benefiting slightly from the idle time of those villagers when trying to get the dock up there for Daut.
Yeah, both players are now just going to go back. They're going to push in some of the deer, and then they're going to make their way to the feudal age. Now, Aztecs can be very, very devastating if you're in a close map like this. The unit production for them is kind of insane, and obviously they can go for those Eagles in the feudal age and then make that quick transition into the Eagle warriors in the castle age. Also, their eco is pretty insane with the villagers carrying the extra resources, and then the monks are quite wild for them as well. On the other side, Malians.
I mean, minus 15% wood on all of your buildings except for farms means that you can, easily expand your eco without any kinds of worries. Makes that early dock that we saw very easy to get the first fishing ship out. And then, of course, villagers dropping out 10% more gold is their small eco bonus there. And university techs coming in 80% faster. That's where you can get some real advantages. Yeah.
Also, the gold lasting longer is beautiful on this map because you only get 4 tiles of gold before you have to chop through. And you do have to chop through to those main areas. Also, something you might not realize if you don't look at the scouting all that often on this map, the areas closest to you, the 2 golds closest to you, are all visible at all times. So if your opponent chops through there in the later stages of the game and starts mining the gold, you will know that they are there.
How about this? Both players going for the barracks out near that central lake. So having like minds in that regard. Scouting of your opponent's base still important, even though you have a pretty good understanding of where villagers will be positioned on this map, since you have to go to the outer reaches in order to get your lumber camps down. Daut identifying where the first mining camp will be here for FreakinAndy, as he's just about to hit the feudal age. Andy about 30 seconds behind him.
And he's looking for production buildings. He's got the militia coming out, and he's going to find it. Okay, so he didn't know that barracks was there at all. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Daut gets to the feudal age. Daut does not go for a fire galley right away, even though he has a bunch of gold in the bank, doesn't have that much wood, and he's just going to put these resources potentially into the men-at-arms upgrade. No, there's the fire galley right there, and men-at-arms. Perfect.
All right, he gets both of them.
Should go for it. I would love to see a demo here, but I mean, I would love to see it. And then maybe you could bait the militia back into the demo.
That'd be sweet. I mean, honestly, if you're the first one to feudal age and you see 3 fishing ships all centralized like that, I like the demo play.
Well, if you're on gold, I like it.
Right,
if you're
true,
not on
true.
gold, then you can go Fire Galley because you're not going to be able to replace it. But Daut has 6 on gold right now. He's still got the men-at-arms. They're kind of wandering around. Andy doing the same thing. I really would love a demo here. I feel like you could get some insane value.
Yeah, now Dandy.
Dandy.
That's
the mix.
That's the matchup. It's the Dandy
That's
matchup.
what's going to come out of the room.
Andy already going to head to rush up an archery range. Daut has one back at home, and Archer's on the field already. Also is stable here for Andy, so he's going for all 3 of the military buildings early here in the
Look
field.
at that! Daut has trapped him in! Where are you going, Fire Galley? Nowhere! He's got him cornered.
What a play.
I don't know why,
I don't know what that
but
gets
he's
you,
got him
but-
cornered. That is an absolute...
I guess there's nothing else for them to do. There's no food left in the middle, so why not?
That play is just to prove a point. And Andy will already invest 200 wood into fish traps. That's crazy. He has that much wood at this point. He's even got 200 more. He can add more fish traps and keep the fishing eco rolling.
Yeah, and as it stands, it looks like Daut has decided not to contest on water. Nothing in the queue there, even to snipe those fishing ships. So Andy might pay dividends that he's investing that early into the fishing traps there. Daut's going to try and go forward with his 3 men-at-arms to find a little bit of damage. They are weak, and the walls are coming up there with the market at the back here for Andy.
Bop. And yeah, it's all walled over here. Daut doesn't have any range units to support this. Andy's production buildings are forward, but look at this. Daut's range units are on the other side. He knows Andy wants to wall, and he's punishing him really, really hard for it. And he's going to get a villager here. He might even get a second one. Great pressure from Daut. Andy was fully focused on the other side. He comes back on the right, and he's going to kill 1 villager and start harassing the woodline.
Yeah, great awareness, great fletching timing as well. That's what makes those 2 archers ultra potent. He does go back to threaten the woodline, and that scout isn't healthy enough. So if the micro is there from Daut, he can go ahead and make this a really messy situation back here for Andy. Wall's still not up, but is looking to be chased away here by the remaining militia and the couple of archers that are making their way over there now.
Such a frustrating moment for Andy, right? You feel like you had the advantage early, you got the good fights there, and then suddenly you're trying to secure yourself. You get the quick wall off on the one side, and then you look over on the other side, and Daut's in your economy. Really, really solid. Also, Daut starting to mix in some eagles. He's still got a solid archer count. Takes out another archer from Andy, and that's still not walled. Andy needs to go for a house. He gets it.
Okay, house is up, but the archers can still harass as we're trying to get the blacksmith down. You want to match those upgrades, and when your opponent has fletching, makes it very hard to contest if you're going to sit in an archer-archer battle. But we see the switch onto skirms here for Andy in the queue as well.
When your low HP villager hiding in the woodline sees an enemy army coming. Hello.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Too good. Wow, this blacksmith still not
Denied.
able to go up?
Denied. And at some point, nope, Daut already has the market. I should have known better. I said at some
come on.
point he's going to add the market, but I should have looked at his res before, right? He's about to go up to Castle Age, though.
That's how we'll know when Daut's slipping as a pro player, right? Is when you start saying that and the market isn't there.
Yeah, when the market's not in view, when he's 69 years old.
Nice.
He's going to be the last player playing Age of Empires at a competitive level, that's for sure.
Look at these resources right now. I mean, fletching clicked by Andy just to equalize there, but Daut is sitting on Castle Age resources nearly.
He's up soon. Sell the wood. Wait for the gold. There we go.
There it is.
Now Daut
Good
can
call.
click up, and he can go into more eagles. Now, eagles produce very slowly in Feudal Age. They're a lot faster to produce once you hit Castle Age, and they're a lot stronger too. So Daut will likely add like 2 barracks in addition to the first one he made, and then just spam eagles across the field, add in some monks, add in some siege, and then he's going to be set. It's beautiful that he still has the archers alive too.
I am
really,
ultra
nice.
concerned for Andy when Castle Age is reached, because still sitting on 74 wood, or food rather, in the bank, and 96 gold. Doesn't feel like he's getting there anytime soon. This is a good find, though, on the archers, because like you said, Daut would love to have these upon reaching the Castle Age just to support what could be Castle Age eagles. And instead, the full cleanup here from Andy in the Feudal Age is very, 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 very sweet to find.
And it's just great play from Daut to separate his armies and provide that opening for himself with those 2 archers. Gets there with the 2 archers, follows up with 3 more once they get cleared up, and that means that Andy is just sitting in his base the entirety of Feudal Age. He can never come forward, forced out maybe into a defensive tower, into more walls, into some panic, you know, and Daut can comfortably get to Castle Age with the 3 barracks setup and just kind of spam Eagles forward. Andy is not going to like the looks of this notification that's coming in 25 seconds.
Yeah, 25 seconds. Daut will be getting to Castle just about the time that Andy clicks. And Andy only has 4 scouts, 5 skirmishers on the field to play
only
defense
2 barracks
at the moment.
I think it's only 2, right?
Yeah, because
okay.
the 1 forward,
okay.
the 1 at home, and then 1 archery range.
Okay, so it's not a complete YOLO approach from Daut. And Daut is already going out to chop that wood line because he realizes, I'm going to be through this gold pretty quickly here.
Yeah, that is both the benefit and the detriment of Aztecs or any Mesociv on this map, right? It can be the reliance on gold. Now, if you can keep yourself on gold, you're going to be happy as a clam, being able to spam out those Eagles, and he's done so far. Eagle Warrior on the way. Andy looking to jump underneath the TC with all 4 of those scouts. Can wreak havoc at the back here. Are the quick walls there? Not so much here for Daut. How much damage will he find, though, with these 2 Eagles coming back and only 3 seconds until the upgrade comes in?
Does Andy run right back under the TC? Does Daut even garrison this time? Not again. Come on. Not again. We're going to have a villager dying on that side, and I think Daut will take that all day. Just to get those scouts out of the back of his base. Andy is going to attempt to leave. Those still have value once Daut adds in monks later in the game. But right now, Daut's got 8 Eagles. He's going for a monastery now that the majority of the scouts are gone. And he's still chopping away at the wood, trying to get access to that gold.
Yeah, Eagles arriving to the other side of the map, but full walls here for Andy, and this is where you're kind of wishing you had those 5 Feudal Age archers, right? So that you could start attacking the walls and prevent any walling
Yeah, that was a good job.
behind.
That was a good job from Andy to kill those early. And Daut probably should have left with those before, but he was just trying to stall Andy out from clicking Castle Age. Andy about to be Castle Age right now. He can go for some siege, he can go for some monks, he can go for some knights, but he's still trapped into his own base here, and he's going to be running out of gold himself.
Yeah, and
the other one's super far forward, too. Like, look at where the other gold placement is from Andy.
That's a very good point. Yeah, I feel like the one on the right is his best option. It's like to the south/right, if he can even get there.
I don't think he can.
I was going to say, but to that end, you're producing knights into Aztec monks right now, which doesn't feel great. And then you always have the option to add in some pikes as well, just to support those Eagles if you want to. But gold isn't a problem for Daut right now, and with him working away on that lumber camp or on those wood lines, we'll have more access to it soon. He's breaking through some of these gates. We have another TC going down at home. It's going to be a very condensed base here for FreakinAndy, but it's what he needs right now to have the safety.
Yeah, it's really, really tough for Daut to do damage, but it's really tough for Andy to set himself up for the late game with a base like this. You need access to gold once that one is gone. You need to go out to the woodline, and you saw Andy right there. He kind of sighed, like a really exaggerated sigh. So maybe he lost a monk on the other side, or something went wrong for him, or he's just realizing that this position he's in is kind of bad.
Now this might be a little over aggressive here, though, from Daut.
That's a lot of dead Eagles.
Throwing a lot of Eagles away. He only had the first armor upgrade, and there is fletching on those town centers as well as knights. So as much as he wants to, while finding 1 or 2 Vil kills, we'll have all of those Eagles cleaned up. Another town center. I like this from Andy, just trying to slowly creep his way out of the base, get some more gold control, fantastic walls, and even a conversion to boot.
I'm honestly surprised Daut hasn't done more with this. Where is the forward building? I see that eagle now sniping the fishing ship. It can probably take out the trap. Where is like the siege to complement this push, right? Where's the additional TC earlier? He's now adding 2 more of them, but it was limited eagle production. He didn't really find the damage, and he didn't give himself any other units to push past the walls. So Andy, with an overextension from Daut, now is in a position to maybe push back across.
Yeah, it did kind of seem like the initial approach on reaching Castle Age was like a 1 TC all in, but missing the siege.
There was no all in.
Yeah. Well, right, exactly. The
he
all
went in.
Wasn't there. Yeah.
But there was no all.
There was no all. They're just in. And then, yes, so there you have. Player second to the Castle Age is the first to 3 TCs. Now, Daut's not too far behind, and so ultimately isn't too much worse for the wear. And again, still has ultimate map control and has at least 1 TC position on one of those extra golds.
Yeah, it deletes the knight that he had previously converted. And the Knights are taking a trip around the base, but there's a couple monks here, so Andy's going to need to run away, maybe add in some light cav of his own. But I think, honestly, considering the Castle Age timing from Daut, considering the annoyance with the archers early, Andy's going to be pretty happy with the position he's in currently. Daut's afforded him a lot of map control, and he's given him an opportunity to utilize the mobility from these Knights, as now he has a decent amount of monks, 5 of them, Sanctity coming in, and he's going to start pushing this area. Also, Daut has grabbed 1 relic. I think he's got another relic on the way home.
2 in just now, yep. He just dropped it off, so there you go. Aztec relics just generating oodles of gold.
Oodles?
Oodles.
Oodles. Is that Imperial or metric?
That's a good. It must be. It must be Imperial.
Yeah, it definitely sounds.
That sounds like
Imperial via the UK,
an
right?
Americanized
Yeah, exactly.
thing. Yeah, exactly, for sure. You gotta love it. I mean, at this point, right, like you said earlier, we had seen Andy let out that sigh. I think by this point, maybe letting out a sigh of relief that he's actually cobbled this position back together, considering the start. And he's actually the one to drop a siege workshop.
Daut is on stone, though. Daut has 320 stone. He's got a market. He's got some double bit axe. Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, he doesn't even have horse collar. I mean, obviously, double bit axe is the more egregious one.
Yeah.
But no horse collar either.
Especially, like, double bit axe is bad, right? Not having it. But especially when you're trying to chop through the wood.
Your wood is, your gold is locked behind layers of wood.
I didn't realize he didn't have that.
These villagers are like, can I please get a better tool for this? Can I please get a better tool?
Exactly.
There it is. There's horse collar. There's wheelbarrow as well, and also town watch. So it feels like Daut, also taking a bit of a breather, realizing that this game is going to go later than maybe he would have wanted it to originally, and so now reprioritizing where he's going to send his resources.
It's still going to be a tough go for Andy. Like, it's still going to be tough to fight up against this many monks, this many eagles, especially if Daut gets a great castle position. And Andy is kind of nervous with his knights, right? You can see him in the bottom there. He's moving it around with the knights. The monks are out of position, but he doesn't know where the monks are.
Right.
So he doesn't want to dive into that TC and then get 5 of his knights converted.
Yeah, I'm almost waiting for a couple of scouts or light cav to be built. We have husbandry, which is great upgrade for these knights, both in terms of closing the gap on those monks, but also retreating in the case that they are being threatened with a conversion. But it's a full night play at the moment with just a couple monks behind it.
He stole
here
the
for
fish
Andy.
trap.
Love it.
Beautiful. Now you can't steal them. Daut's trying. You can't steal them while the ship is working on them, so you got to wait for it to leave.
Got to snipe it.
Yeah.
All right, 2 mangonels, though, here for Andy. Pikes coming in here for Daut. Again, he sees full night composition. He says, great, monks, pikes, and eagles is a fine response to that.
You can tell we've rubbed off on vodka a little bit because the army is over to the left. He's busy looking at the trap in the center. Well done. Oh, great engagement here for Andy as the eagles are trying to push the mangonels, but he does kill a couple villagers along that wood line. However, not as many as I initially expected, and the mangonels just die.
Yeah, gets a couple of the vills, but does get out without any conversions just yet. There's the first one coming through for Daut. The Eagles get a nice little cleanup, though, on the monks there for Andy, and Andy has to turn tail and run.
It looked so good at the beginning, didn't it?
It did.
And then the Eagle army just arrived, the mangonels were dead, and Andy needed to run away with the knights because the monks were there too. Hassled follow-up from Daut on the back of that great fight for him, and now he's pushing forward with the monks. He's got the Eagles behind, he's got the pikemen, he's got the Aztec production, and it's a pretty solid eco with 82 villagers. Andy is going to struggle to defend against this, especially if Daut gets those conversions.
Yeah, this castle goes up every day of the week. Andy's going to try and take a fight here, though, while the forces of Daut are a little bit split, and he will get a good trade at that. Daut needs to keep the production up of the pikes and needs to make use of these Aztec monks. He's looking for an extra conversion. He's going to throw the pikes away just to buy his villagers the time to guarantee that this castle does go up in the end and control this position. A lot of military buildings here from FreakinAndy about to go down to castle fire, and another giant gold pile under control. It's important to note through all of this, Andy does have the eco lead and even does get another few snipes in terms of military units on the back end of that fight.
Yeah, great macro behind from Andy. You can look at the food count right now, 37 on food for Andy, 30 for Daut, and Andy's resources looking pretty solid, but the problem against Aztecs is like they can lose 5 fights and still be okay. if you're playing Knights against Aztecs, you can really only lose one fight.
Yep.
And then you're going to get swamped by the production. So kind of crazy setup here for Daut as Andy sets up a castle of his own on that hill. He's trying to chop the gold to the right, and Daut is now chopping Andy's gold to the left of his base.
I mean, two things. Fantastic castle position because he has that hill from which to work with. But how about that TC placement?
In the corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Sure. Double stone, double wood line, perfect. It's amazing.
You love to see it.
He'll never find it.
He'll never find it. All right, bringing some Knights over to respond to the attempted Eagle raid here on the extra gold position for Andy, and a lot of farms being dropped as well with Imperial Age on the way here for Andy. One castle against one castle. I can't believe it either.
I can't believe he's faster. The outpost wars over here are kind of insane as Andy slowly makes his way forward with those. Bodkin arrow on the way for Daut. He's going into archers now. And Andy is actually getting Tigui? So his TC is fire? Okay.
All right.
All right.
Well, you know what? I guess, again, if you want to protect against what you think would be the only way you lose the game at this point, just, excessive Eagle raids while you're trying to push in one singular position, that could be the answer. He's going to get the TC up over here.
It's in. Look at all those arrows. Oh, my God.
I mean, Pikes don't stand a chance in the long run against that, but still some good kills to be found here from Daut. Equalized and even took the eco lead as a result of all of that. But again, something to remember. Daut is stuck in the Castle Age as of right now, and FreakinAndy is 50 seconds away from the Imperial Age.
And Gebetto feel pretty good against Aztecs here. Really solid against Eagles, right? They can range, like Jags get the bonus damage, but you need to catch up to them first.
Right.
Which
it never happened.
Really, really solid against the pikemen as well. And what is Daut going to do? It looks like he's just going to go into crossbow and then maybe into arbalest as he still has not clicked up to the Imperial Age. This game has kind of just slipped out of his grasp, and Andy has been dragging himself back in. Another thing to note with Malians, that chemistry comes in real quick.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's a misread or what, because he even chose to invest into the second gold mining upgrade, right? Where that's food that could have gone into the earlier Imperial Age click. He does also have 1,000 wood in the bank. Make use of that market. Get yourself up. About to be in the position to click. But we've already got Trebs in the queue here for FreakinAndy.
And Daut just unqueued everything. So he goes up to Imperial Age. He realizes the situation he's in. Gebetto are still roaming around for Andy. Daut still has the map control advantage over Andy. So he's still got him penned in here. But Andy has 117 villagers, 49 on food. It's a great eco setup. And of course, even with just the limited access to gold on this side, if he manages to hold that, that gold would last quite a while for the Malians. And Daut doesn't want him to hold that. Daut doesn't want him to have this position. He's pushing forward.
Stone.
He's going to, but he has to buy 100 more.
He needs 100 more. Daut, you need
Come on, one villager. Collect 9. Where is the one villager on stone? We don't know. Oh,
so painful. How much does stone cost? It costs 163
and now
gold.
he can't go for the castle he wanted to go for, and Andy has to go for that castle there to deny the placement from Daut. So Andy will deny the placement, deny the pressure, and protect himself at the same time. Beautiful job.
Yeah, forces the delete on the castle foundation. I mean, it's smart by Daut to not try and force it at that time, given what he had seen there. But Andy will effectively defend this gold position for himself. And again, on the other side of the map, you see a blinking castle there for Daut, which means it won't be around for much longer here. And that's one Treb doing it all by itself.
Was that a villager walled in against that? I mean, just Andy things. Was that a Vill walled in against that castle attacking it?
Yo, she's here for the glory.
That's your average.
Wait, let her get the final hit.
Yeah.
No! Come on, 8 damage. It would have been so epic.
It would have been crazy.
It would have been so epic.
Welcome to the Andy experience right there. Yeah, there's just a villager randomly walled in.
Sees a castle. He goes, I'm trapped in here with you. No, you're trapped in here with me.
Exactly. 1 damage per hit.
1 damage per hit.
That dagger, though.
That could have been sick, man. That could have been sick. He was tunneling under the castle walls and about to make it collapse.
Chipping away at the foundation. Infantry armor upgrade coming in for Daut. Arbalest upgrade on the way. Bracer on the way. We've got handcart for him. We've got conscription. All the techs coming in. But if you're thinking late game, especially in a map like this where you need to control these gold positions, and it's not like a wide open raidy type of map, I think I would favor Malians.
Yeah, all that said, it is FreakinAndy who has to push all the way across the map, right?
He's only got one gold spot right now. Yeah.
Exactly. Cleaning up that second one and going over to drop a TC. So that'll equalize them at 2 gold positions apiece. But even still, there's a lot that needs to be done for either player to ultimately take this one. Continuing to look at the different upgrades. We've got Squires coming in here for FreakinAndy. That's going to make those Gabetto that much faster in terms of the chase as well. More mobile. Chemistry coming in here for Daut. Could be very important in the
He's on the run.
well.
Where's he going?
We're long-range mining stone over there, by the way. Okay, Andy realizes and moves over to a lumberjack position instead. The Arbalest numbers are climbing, and that can be scary as well if the micro is on point, and Knights will struggle against it.
Aztec Arbalest, not the best, but it's still a decent, it's the best solution you have against the Gabetto currently. And you can see Eagle now being added in from Daut. So what Daut is going to want to do is just defend against where the Gabetto are with his Arbalest and maybe protect his Trebs or whatever, or deny the gold, and then use the Eagle mobility to come in and try and raid Andy. But Andy has already taken steps against that. We saw Tigui come in earlier, right? He's got the castle set up pretty defensively near his golden farming eco. So he's kind of ready for the Eagles to come in, and now he's going into Cavalier, and Farimba is in for him too.
Wow.
So really powerful Cavaliers should be able to deal with those Eagles.
And to your point, just look how many TCs are coming up, right? For Andy, TCs all over the map to provide that extra element of safety, both for the for the arrows firing, but also places to garrison villagers. Looking to be denied this time around by some pikes. Here comes some Cavaliers to the left-hand side as well. I mean, Daut doing a good job to at least scout this out and find a little bit of damage. But pikes really struggle in the long run to kill villagers.
One step at a time, Andy is just getting more and more of an advantage here. And we have to ask, like, where is Daut going to push, right?
Well, given this castle position on the left-hand side, I'd have to imagine it's here. At the very least, it's where he has his Arbalest at the moment, recognizing that there's a whole mass of Cavalier there as well for his opponent.
It's kind of a crowded stone down there. Little bit, and we've got the Arbalest now pushing forward. Trebs behind here, only 2 Trebs. Garland War is coming in.
Wow.
So the Pikeman will be +4, but Forging isn't even in yet, so now soon to be +5.
Good point. Now we have 1 Treb on the other side here for FreakinAndy. We've got Bombard Cannons in the queue, though, and I think that's one of the major differences, right? Is one player's working with Bombard Cannons, the other doesn't have any. How about this? A barracks back behind the base, maybe for those raids that you were talking about, would be necessary if the Aztec player does want to come out on top in this matchup. Because looking at these 2 army compositions, I feel like if the Gabettos aren't focused down by the Arbalest, that at the end, the Cavalier and the Gabettos will come out on top.
It's a big engagement.
It's a huge engagement, but look at those pikemen melt. Sure, they've got the +4 attack, but they're still dying. And at the end of the day, all the Arbalists get cleaned up right after that. Now the Trebs will follow. Andy does need to be able to push this castle position, though, in response. He's got 1 Bombard Cannon rolling forward now. More pikes coming through here from Daut to try and hold the position. The castle is firing away. He keeps the Treb alive for the time being, but there are too many units here for Andy on the field. It's 34 military to 22.
Where is the army?
I don't know.
Like, where's the army from Daut? It's all in the production queue. It dies as soon as it gets to the battlefield. Aztecs also have the worst castles in the game. Can't get masonry, can't get architecture, can't get hoardings. So that castle will die against the Trebs and the Bombard Cannons. And I'm not seeing the counter raids that we need from Daut. It feels like Andy, from a bad position in Feudal Age when Daut got to Castle, has fully recovered and is in a position to win this game.
Yeah, you can see Daut has the idea, but just doesn't seem to have the time, although the numbers are climbing here, and the villagers are trying to repair and keep that castle alive. With barracks going up along the wings, maybe the raids can begin, and he can start to pull Andy's focus apart. That's a lot of Cavalier that are starting to go down to pikes, and in the efficiency trade, at the end of the day, there's no food in the bank right now for Andy. His queue is going to struggle.
There it is. There's that Aztec production, right? Andy was taking all the fights better. He had the better KD. You can see it reflected there, 280 to 166, but Daut is just spamming units. He's keeping his queue alive, and he is now having barracks in the back, and maybe those Eagles were a little bit distracting to Andy. However, we look at the queue now from Daut, it's only 9 units total.
I was going to say, when all felt like it was lost, Daut finds a way to claw himself back into it, but both players really struggling to keep the military units on the field at the end of the day. 2 barracks over there on the right-hand side. Need to keep pumping. The Cavalier getting to the back of the base. These are fantastic
with
raids.
Farimba.
Yes.
I mean, they're weak, but, oh, geez, they are going to distract Daut a ton. And we look at Daut's eco. 40 on food. 55 on food for Andy, right? 1,700 gold in the bank for Andy, 31 on gold. It's 12 on gold for Daut, and he's using the market.
Yeah, he's got to get the stone in the bank there to keep that castle alive because it keeps taking hits from the siege units. This is a great find here by Andy in the southern part of the map. 30 villagers under threat by light cav raids. The castle taking so much damage, but holding on by a thread. That, I think, is going to be Daut's lifeline. He's out of stone, though, right now, and needs to be aware of it in order to buy. Yeah, Pop is definitely dropping here. Down below 140 for the first time in a while Andy climbs to above 175. I think he's starting to pull his opponent apart with the mobility of the cavalry units.
It's just a better Civ late game. It's just simply a better Civ late game. Way more options. Daut needed to do something early at Castle Age when he had his advantage. More raids coming in from Andy now. The villagers are going to die on the woodline. They're going to die on the stone. And Andy is now pushing forward with a town center on that left gold from Daut. He's got the Cavalier in, killing all the villagers on gold. Aztecs without gold simply don't have the options. Actually, they didn't have the options with the gold.
That's a good point.
And they have even less now as Daut gets completely denied off of that resource. 125 population for Daut, 180 population for Andy.
Yeah, falling below 90 villagers at this point. He just doesn't have the resources. 1 on gold, 38 on food, no resources in the bank, more light cav streaming to the back of the base, and that's enough for Daut to call it. It's a 2-1 lead now for FreakinAndy.
And that's a win on Daut's home map for Andy. And Daut's got to be feeling like, man, that is amazing.
So close.
Was this like Chat GPT or something?
It has to be, right? These are so epic.
Yeah, dude.
We had the earlier today, the 1 health villager diving through the house.
Well,
and then
wasn't it a female build though?
Was it?
I think it was. Yeah. We need Jane Doe now. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
We need the revision.
Run it back.
Oh, that was sick.
That was very, very cool.
I think it wasn't ChatGPT. I think they just badly cropped that.
Well, impressive nonetheless.
Impressive nonetheless.
I mean, they're spitting these out so quickly, man. Fast fingers back there. I wonder what the APM is on those memes. We should get a heart rate tracker and APM tracker on Meme Guy.
Meme Guy. Speaking of heart rate, Andy's up. I don't know if it's accurately reading that. Maybe he's feeling a lot of pressure now that he's up 2-1 over the favorite.
I would be. He's even checking it himself.
He's like,
right
damn,
now.
Dude.
It's a good reminder that was Game 3, so the players have an optional 5-minute break if they so choose to take it. If they also desire, they can dive right back into game number 4. Either way, we'll be here with you during that time to talk it through. I love to see the guys, chatting back and forth across the table.
Why did Daut not pressure more with his Castle Age there? Like, obviously going in with the Eagles wasn't the best play there. Against a 2 TC stack and
without the second armor for sure.
Yeah, but like, where was the monasteries forward? Maybe
actually,
the
Siege Workshop. No,
you know
Siege
what?
Workshop.
It might have been those forward production buildings from Andy that kind of scared Daut away from that idea. Because if you go forward with the Siege Workshop or a monastery, and then there's already a stable there from Andy in the middle, suddenly a knight pops out. And you're out of luck, right? Or a scout pops out and you're out of luck. Hello, everyone in the viewing area.
Yeah, but if that's the case, right, then wouldn't you say, okay, if you're not going to go all in, you made it to Castle Age so far ahead of your opponent?
Is Millie picking Vipers? No.
He's trying.
Vipers, is that Viper?
Let us know if you find anything good.
Oh, it's Eustace. Hello.
He's gold mining is what he's doing. But again, to your point, right, if you're not going to commit entirely to the all-in, it wasn't an all-in, it was a sum-in, it was a half-in, then go to those 3 TCs immediately. Yeah. Because you had a 3-minute advantage to the Castle Age. And then maybe you just out-eco your opponent at that at that point, because then you ended up being second to Imperial Age.
What did your Castle Age advantage get you there? It didn't really get you anything.
Nothing. You threw a lot of resources away with the Eagles.
I'm sure there's a lot of things Daut would have done differently there. Would love to go back and look at the resources that he had when he reached Castle Age, whether he could even go for the TC approach or whatnot. But either way, we're into Game 4 here. Andy is 1 win away from being 2-1 in the first 3 games of NAC 5, and well, it's Daut's pick. Will he go to Desert Void or does he go to Northern Crossings?
We go back to the age-old question, right? Would you want to end on your own home map or end on theirs? By the same token, game score does matter here. So if you just feel like you have a sure victory on your home map, perhaps you go there, even it up, guarantee yourself at least 2 game wins in the set. But he is going to go for that other conventional wisdom.
It is 1-1? It's 2-1. I think. Unless I'm crazy. There
It
we
is
go.
2-1. There we go.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, 2-1 for FreakinAndy, if you were confused there. And welcome to Northern Crossings. We have marshland crossings to the other island, and we've got also transport ships starting for both players. So they're going to know exactly where the docks are. That's why there's not really any... Oh, my goodness, that was a little moonwalk, moon sail from the transport ship there.
There's the wind changed very quickly. Yeah.
Exactly. There is not really a point in hiding your docks here because it's just going to be found immediately by the transport ship. So if you go front, they don't find you at the back. They know exactly where you are.
Yeah, no point in hiding them, but still important for each player to end up scouting the position of each other's docks. And in this case, it looks like both players are going for the forward dock position.
That's interesting. That's not something we see very often.
No, usually it's 1-1, right?
Mm-hmm. I wonder what the strategy is here from Andy, because last time against Hart, when Hart was trying to go FC or fast castle and then just boom, Andy went for that landing and then made the dock at the back.
Right.
If he doesn't spot the dock at the back, how does he respond to this from Daut? Does he still go up early? Does he try and pressure that? Or is he going for a fast castle approach of his own?
Yeah, it is a really good question. I mean, at the very least, even if you become aware that your opponent's dock is also forward like yours, for Andy, it's not a long distance for your ships to have to travel. So you are open to that feudal aggression as a possibility, but by no means are you, required to go for it. We do have Koreans, by the way, versus Dravidians, just to give you all a sense of the Civ matchup. We'll take a look at the Koreans first over here. Turtle ship, I mean, I'd love to see them. I don't know if we will.
They can attack ground now.
Okay.
They can attack ground now. I don't know if
what that does.
I mean, it's very exciting.
You said it emphatically. So
I did kill 10 archers with a turtle ship attack ground a few days ago. So
I hope you have a clip of that.
I might.
Outside of that, of course, you're looking at things like towers, which can become incredibly useful in the late game just for controlling shorelines. And then, of course, you've got a reduction in wait, I'm not wearing my glasses right now.
Well, there's the minus wood, right?
That's what it was. I was like, where's the wood
costing minus 20%
I saw the minus
wood.
50%, and
then
really
obviously
worried.
the archers and infantry half wood price is really useful. But we're looking at the ships here, right? Exactly. Koreans missing a few things with their navy, though. They're missing demo, which can be really, really bad with the Fire Galley Wars, as the transport ship has transported the scout over here from Daut. And Daut is trying to get that villager, but it's Andy. He's trying to get the quick wall. Daut isn't letting him, and Daut might be able to snipe the villager.
Wait, we get the last wall. Andy? Wait, what? Okay,
Daut just leaves. Oh. Daut just leaves. That was sick, dude.
Oh, my God.
My heart. Sure. That Bill was I thought she was a goner.
I thought she was gone too.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, one, I love the play. I love the cheekiness by Daut to even go for it. And also a villager creeping her way forward here on the other side of the island.
Exactly. You distract on that. It's a Giga Brain plate. You distract on that side, and then you sneak a villager. And Andy is going to be so busy quick walling in that villain. Now he's thinking, man, maybe I could do the same thing to Daut. Look, he's loading he's loading it up, but Daut's like, yeah, I knew you would say that. As Daut transports his scout over, and he's going to try and snipe another villain. He has to wait till feudal age to try and get that one.
You would absolutely have to, but he's only 15 seconds away. That's a pretty.
Here we see the quick wall.
Replay.
Andy coming back. Bop, bop.
Dude, it's the wood. It's the wood chop command that gets it for him. I love it. He doesn't even put up the last wall. He's like, I don't need it.
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't need it.
I'm good. We go back here, and it looks like Daut is setting up something on the other side. Nice little quick walling villager. Bop, bop.
Bop, bop.
Beautiful.
Bop, bop.
Absolutely beautiful. It's a barracks. So he's going to follow up probably with an archery range. They would be surprised to see the Dravidian stable coming in. Villager needs to be careful because the scout is still on the prowl. Daut, do you go for that?
Oh, please.
He's not.
Nah, he wants the information, right? Too valuable.
He's down 2-1.
Exactly.
That's not a down 2-1 decision.
Exactly. It's too much of a risk there for too little a reward in a number of ways. There's the archery range that we were talking about, but how about these walls here by FreakinAndy already? He has the inkling that there are some shenanigans at play, and so while he's going double dock on the front, he's going to palisade wall in an oblong fashion back at home, and now he's going to take his turn at harassing villagers on the gold. Daut responds by taking the fight, and Andy will back up.
That's a really interesting stat. So it's been picked 27 times, but it hasn't been banned once by players. It's probably been mixed into the random ban a ton of times, but that tells you that it's an okay civ.
It's the upper echelon of or it's like A- civ.
Yeah.
B+.
But it's not something that players are feeling super threatened by.
Right. So in almost all cases, it will fall through if it's not caught in some of those random bands. Let's see here. FreakinAndy still making movements with this scout, trying to locate what exactly Daut's up to.
Triplets. Oh, geez. Well, they're quiet right now.
Yeah.
Watching AoE too. Good.
Hey, get them in early. I like that. Those will be the future NAC competitors or whatever LAN events we have in another 16 years' time.
I'm glad you're enjoying the tournament. Everyone at home tweeting at us. Make sure you hashtag NAC5 if you want to be featured on the broadcast. We have a lot of tweets running through, and it looks like Daut is going to save this forward villager, but Andy has discovered all of this, and Daut only has 2 archers, so Andy will get a archer range up, and he should be able to defend with the walls that he's made in an oblong fashion.
Thank you for bringing that one back.
I would have said like pickle. Or potentially potato.
The pickle.
Yeah.
Pickle walls. Egg. Yeah, because it's not quite an egg.
No, it's like a potato.
It's definitely like a russet potato or
Oh, you even got types of
potatoes.
potatoes.
Man, let's go.
Oh, well, it's definitely not a sweet potato.
Talk to me. We go in Idaho, russet. Like, where are you at on your potato knowledge, bro? Okay, how about this? Tower forward as well here for Daut, trying to, a pretty great tower, if it goes up, denying a wood line and potentially threatening up to 2 gold positions.
But he's getting his fishing ship sniped down now. He's getting his fishing ship sniped by the, Andy is sniping the fishing ships from Daut, and Daut is chasing the fishing ships from Andy. I want to take another look at that tower. Was the defensive tower from Andy within range? No. So even with a weak villager, Daut manages to get the tower up on the wood line. It's also covering that gold, like you mentioned, and he can garrison the archers in there.
Yeah, tower does go up, a fletching about to complete for Andy, and then it will be in range.
Will it?
There, because I think I see the red tower shooting it. So I do believe they will be able to trade fire there, and over time, Andy will free those resources back up. But even still, great job by Daut to delay on that side of the map. He's trying to chase these galleys away as well as Andy looks for more damage and runs his own fishing ships back to safety. It is a very close game for how split these players are in terms of their attention. Daut putting his primary focus on land while just trying to survive and be a nuisance on water. Andy, of course, looking for a little bit more control on water and to keep those fishing ships alive. He gets the wall up there on the overchop. That's great to see, but the archers are wrapping around the base to threaten the second wood line, and at that point, Andy's out of wood options.
Yeah. Really solid pressure by Daut. And Andy invested a ton of wood, not only in the Navy, but also the walls, too. So if Daut keeps hammering his wood lines, it could be problematic for him. And Andy needs to pay a lot of attention, not just to the villagers and archers that are harassing him, but also to microing the galleys. If you look at Daut's composition on the water, fire galleys are just much easier to use, right? And if Andy's not paying attention with the weak ships, he could lose a bunch of galleys, and then you don't have the effective numbers to really fight there and protect your fish.
Yeah, without a doubt. 2 more fire galleys in the queue here for Daut. He is going to lose.
Transport ship gone. That's actually really valuable.
It is.
Like, you forget that you lose that, then you need to transport, and it takes you an extra 30 seconds.
Yeah, luckily, Northern Crossings, right? So at the very least, if you are trying to get over to your opponent's side, you still have the option of walking across the marshes. But even still, now what if you want to get to the center, for example, right? That, to your point, you would need that transport ship. We have archers against skirmishers here. Both upgrades actually over here for the Koreans, of course. And so these skirmishers are going to make quick work of the archers.
The market first. And he has so much gold. So he's going to be paying a little bit higher prices, and Daut should be on the way to Castle Age a little bit faster, unsurprisingly. But Andy, he's almost got 900 gold in the bank.
Yeah, the eco looks real ugly.
Need a market,
Andy.
Andy.
At the moment.
Does he have one? There we go. Okay, he's making it, but only with 1 villager, so he loses another minute where he could be going up to Castle Age.
Daut.
Wonderful farms there. Just great.
Ooh. Well.
Yeah, just.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the one next to the TC. That's it. Yeah, I saw that one.
I mean, he's busy with other things.
Exactly.
It's not the worst.
Exactly. You spend too much time focusing on farm placement, you're not paying enough attention to other things.
I've heard that from T90 before.
Yes.
And he found the fish.
Woo, there
nice.
You go.
So he pulled the galleys out of position. He's going to find the fish. Perfect.
Fantastic. Okay, after heavy market use there from Andy buying 400 food, he will also be on the way to the Castle Age for himself, just about 45 seconds behind his opponent. Northern Crossing is the third most banned map at a whopping 50 times as well.
I'm not surprised.
Well, because to me that tells you you've got players who are absolutely okay playing it, and then there's a solid subset of players who want nothing to do with it.
Also, it's a map where there's some really, really strong civs, right? So if your opponent manages to get like Armenians, or you don't want to waste a ban on Armenians, it just feels impossible.
Yeah.
So you might as well go to another map that is going to have a wider variance in civs. Maybe you could come back from. So doesn't surprise me at all. Northern Crossings, we have seen a couple times in this main event, though. And it's a fairly dynamic map now. Like, it's way more dynamic than Northern Isles.
Exactly.
With these marshalling crossings.
Yeah, we've seen some very, very interesting games offering us all kinds of different creative strategies. Right now for FreakinAndy, it's 8 in terms of the galley numbers on water. Still 40 seconds away from the Castle Age. Daut with 3 fire galleys. He's going to go for that upgrade to fire ships and also drop another TC back at home. Very condensed layout here.
It's super nice getting that 200 wood when you get up to Castle Age, because then you can afford to go for like extra ships. You can get the War Galley research. You can add another TC, and you're just feeling really, really comfortable with Dravidians, and that's a big part of why people pick them, right? The transitions are super nice for this civilization. However, Castle Age coming in from Andy, and he can afford a second town center. He is still adding galleys, and he gets his towers upgraded automatically to guard towers. Still focusing on that watchtower pressure from Daut, though. I think he's got 5 archers garrisoning that tower.
Yeah, and just...
Oh, and Daut's finding a good fight here. If he can take out the galleys before they become war galleys, that could be huge, but Andy manages to snake his way through.
Yeah, I mean, still 4 fire ships, though. Pack a pretty powerful punch. So Andy's going to be on the run here and looking to micro his way out of this one. Still 15 seconds to go until those war galleys are upgraded into war galleys. Kept the tower alive just long enough to hopefully remove Daut's forward tower. Daut taking this opportunity to go to a 3rd TC as well back at home, while Andy has made it to his 2nd there on the right-hand side.
Yeah, and this becomes a little bit easier now for Andy with War Galleys. He's doing more damage to the fires. A little bit of a regroup there, though, and very weak HP on these War Galleys. And it kind of feels like a situation where Daut might be able to clear this up if Andy takes his attention off it for too long. Some of these War Galleys are a couple hits away from death. I love the fact that Andy is adding in fires in front, though.
Yep.
I think that's a really nice touch. It's a meat shield, and then, of course, you get the extra damage from the War Galleys behind. And then if he needs to, he can mass more War Galleys in addition to this Navy you already have.
We all know that you fight fire with fire and harpoons behind it.
Exactly.
And look at it. It's working. So full control still on the water here for Andy as the Koreans, but once again, down in the TC count. So while all of this is happening, Daut has built himself a little bit of an eco lead, and that's one of his favorite positions to be in.
Look at the stone count for Andy, though.
Wow. Okay,
like,
14 on
is this like a defensive castle war wagon angle? Is this a control the middle angle? Is this a forward castle?
He still has his transport ship. So we talked about the importance of a transport ship. I could see it being a transition to the center island and a forward castle
angle.
Never mind.
He doesn't know the angle. It's probably like 69 degrees or something. Oh, still has the transport ship. What? I think it's slightly faster. It is, right? It's 1.45 versus 1.35.
Look at that.
He's going to... Oh, the fishing ship!
No!
Get out of the way!
It's a double agent!
Oh,
what
my
the
goodness.
Heck?
And of course, the fishing ship lives. Traitor to the cause.
Ridiculous.
Disgusting.
Ridiculous. Okay. What is this?
What? All right.
Does Andy see it?
Do you think he sees it?
Well, I mean, I know he sees it. I mean, like, he's not responding to it.
I think he sees it, bro.
There's archers sitting right there. He didn't go do anything about it. That's what I mean.
Well, I mean, those are Daut's archers.
No. The ones from under his tower, sitting right there. They were there the whole time.
I didn't realize.
He could have just walked over and killed the unit.
No, I definitely didn't see it.
Castle works, though. I guess that's a proper response.
Yep. Castle goes defensively at the back of his base, the last place he expected to put that castle. It's the angle. Yeah. Daut knew the angle the whole time. And Daut is pushing forward towards this wood line, and he's going to lose a couple villagers here. So good pressure from Daut to force the castle in like an unoptimal position and to pressure the wood line, get some villager kills. And all this time, Daut is still contesting on water, and he's just expanding his eco. Really, really solid play.
Yeah, fantastically done. Almost 20 Vil advantage here when it comes to the economy numbers. Does end up losing that Mangonel as the castle goes up and finds a nice little snipe. The skirmishers are there as well here by Andy at this point to try and deal with any threat those archers might have for the remainder.
How is she still alive?
I don't know. She's
Like,
going to get chased down now, though.
Is that's the same villager? I guess she healed up in the tower when she was waiting there. The archers are going to die. The skirmishers are within minimum distance of that villager, so they're not even attacking her.
It's just comical at this point. It'd be a bad decision for Daut to move that villager at this point.
It's a good decision to move that relic, though. He just stole it from Andy's island. Daut already has a relic. He's taking that one. He's on the move with her again. He's on the run. He's trying to bait him back, maybe into the fire ship, as Daut is looking pretty solid in terms of resources. Look at that from Andy. 9 on food. He lost the fish. 9 on food.
Okay, now here's the thing, right? Oh, okay. I was about to ask if that's going to be a forward castle position because Daut had seen the investment into the castle back at home, but he's going to go for a safe one here on the choke around the marshlands and control some of the shoreline there with his first castle placement. Andy, enough stone to drop a second castle and some more wagons now out onto the field.
Yeah, and with Koreans, it's kind of weird because it's like you want at least 2 castles, but at what point do you start mixing in towers too? If you know it's going to go long, if you know it's going to go into a water battle, you got to keep that in the back of your mind, like saving that stone for tower potential, especially along these crossings. Korean towers can go so hard in the late game here.
Just absolutely nutty value when those things get upgraded to keeps. I mean, even Asgard towers alone, they're still very, very effective.
Good
castle
timing
position,
on this castle.
Yeah, it gets up just in time to control this choke point. It'd be hard for Andy to push through, even with war wagons being so tanky against arrow fire.
Can't push through fires.
Exactly.
No, they just output the damage so much. It doesn't matter what your Pierce armor is. They're doing 1 anyway. Their attack rate is incredibly high. 68 villagers for Andy, 90 villagers for Daut, and Ballistics is on the way. Daut has 33 on food. Andy's still only 17 on food. Getting the food eco set up on this map is tough, especially once you've lost your fish. You got to make that transition, right?
Yep.
And primarily going into wood gold units, you don't really need food for your army, but you need it to advance, and you need it for your technologies.
Yeah, and to that end, I think that's where I'll point to the fact that our cameras have been locked on this side of the map for the majority of the game, right? Daut hasn't really had too much trouble expanding his eco as he pleases, as we have a small engagement here at the top of the map. 2 fire ships against 1, 2 villagers trying to out-repair it. They're keeping it alive for the time being, but ultimately it will go down, and 1 villager will lose his life in the process. We've got more outposts coming forward here from Daut just to make sure he's not surprised by anything coming in through the northern side, as the focus seems to be the south.
Andy's still with a ton of stone in the bank. You can see he's trying to get the food eco set up around the relic there, but now he's being harassed. And still, only 21 on food. Daut is about to click Imperial Age here, and it is on the way. A great Game 4 performance so far from Daut, and he's got himself the advantage. He had the advantage last game, but this time it seems a little bit more real as he adds a transport ship too. So probably thinking about heading out to that center area.
Yeah, now you were asking for more towers, and already we get our answer there.
Yeah.
Andy threw one up there on the left-hand side.
Turtle ships!
Woo!
Let's go! They look so cool.
They're so dope.
Yeah.
I love this unit so much. We do get them. We'll see how effective they are here in the long run.
Boom!
Such tanky units.
I mean, but their attack rate is so pathetic. Like, it's just frustrating.
It is, but they chunk like crazy,
They
man.
do
And the
chunk.
the guard tower goes up in the end, so while 1 turtle ship will fall, a lot of naval units here from Daut sinking to the bottom of the ocean. I'm not sure if this is a wise fight for him. He does eliminate both of the turtle ships, but at great cost.
It's just not it. I wonder how Therisidai do against turtle ships. I've never seen that matchup.
Nor have I.
Yeah, I wonder why. The battle of the chunk.
Yeah, it requires 2 separate players to make 2 wildly crazy decisions.
Here we go.
Oh,
Look at that attack rate.
That's how turtle ships are meant
1
to be
Mississippi,
used.
2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 4 Mississippis. 4 Mississippis. Have you ever driven through Mississippi?
Never.
It feels like an eternity.
I avoid.
Imagine driving through
whole
4 of those.
the United States.
Imagine going through 4 of those. Brutal.
Okay, well, turtle ships right now, it seems to be what Andy wants to go for, and he's even trying to extend towers onto the home island here of Daut, but 20 seconds till Imperial Age is in, and we haven't even made our way there yet here for FreakinAndy, and very little food in the bank to do so. Seems like this is Daut's game to take. It's just a matter of how he wants to close it out.
Yeah, the towers are going to be super annoying, but Daut is in Imperial Age so much faster than Andy. And Andy is like sitting there in a weird position where even if you use that market, you're going to have to sell your stone to go up. So you're just planning on idling everything. But look at the villager count. Look at the Imperial Age timing. Look at the text coming in from Daut. The castle is already defensive on that side. He's getting Galleon, he's getting Bracer, he's getting everything that he needs, and soon he's going to be set up to just push him right back.
The towers will buy him time, as it will take Trebs for Daut to slowly push them back, position by position. But Daut has also made his way to the center of the map.
Taking another relic.
Grabbing a relic.
It's going to be 4 out of 5.
It's all working for him right now. Those villagers are going to try and find another cheeky tower position.
You just can't let this happen because Andy will be back there with keeps and guard towers and quick walling his villagers forever. You got to take care of these.
Yeah, so it's good that Daut is already tracking it, sending 3 villagers to deal with 3. And he's going to delete that that thought of tower position and continue running.
Nice traps there from Daut. He's got the Navy to support, so literally nothing Andy can do. All these farms he just set up are about to be denied.
Yeah. 1 Arumi swordsman, because why not?
Villagers are still at the back, and more Trebs rolling on the other side. Andy is finally up to Imperial Age, but we're 3 minutes away from him having a counter to any of this.
Yeah, he's going for masonry, which I like because it's your best option to stall things out when it comes to the push. 2 more guard towers back at home. If he can keep himself alive long enough for those to turn into keeps, maybe he stands a chance. But even still, he'll need a response to those Trebs. He needs a response to the number of galleys that are out now here for Daut. There's only 2 turtle ships in total here for FreakinAndy.
Yeah, and I think it's Yupseong is coming in from Andy, so that will give him extra range on the towers. It's going to help a little bit against Galleons. Won't do anything against the Trebuchet. And Andy just calls the GG. And Daut just got himself in a really solid position. I think you said at one point in that game, look at where our view has been. Yeah. It was so rare for us to look over at Daut's Island. There's a reason for that because Daut put all the forward pressure. Andy took the water while Andy was busy.
Yeah, and how effective he was, right? It was 2 villagers coming forward, barracks, archery range, into a tower.
Yep.
And then later, one of those villagers sticks around for a siege workshop. But even still, I mean, just the investment of 2 military buildings and a tower to get that much out of it, to buy yourself the space and time to expand your eco the way you want. You also called out that how difficult food economy can be on that map.
Oh, usually that decides the winner.
Exactly.
It sounds weird on that map, but if you look at the food count going into the late game, especially with Imperial Age transition, the amount on food usually decides who's going to win because they can actually afford to go up to him and they can afford to get all their techs.
Exactly. So Daut with full control of his home island was able to expand those farms. I love it.
Big man hot. And he's red hot after that game.
He is red hot after that game, but we're locked up at 2-2, right? Anyone's series to take at this point. And you have to imagine both are feeling the pressure to some degree. Again, these are players that while Andy is sitting at 1-1, Daut is sitting at 0-2 and needs to start putting up the set wins here to make sure that he makes it into the top 8 in the bracket stage.
And he's got his home map coming home.
It's Desert Void.
Yep. Let's see what the civs are remaining here. Like Berber's Poles. Berber's Poles.
Against
Vietnamese Slavs.
Well, ooh. I mean, I just love Pole's economy. Berbers would play into the idea of, like, if you can get to camel archers, a mobile archer unit that Daut likes to play with, which is maybe why he goes there. On the other side of things, I mean, I'm a big fan of Vietnamese, personally. And again, if you think Daut might go into, like, Berbers, I think maybe Vietnamese might be a really solid option against that.
Yeah.
But time will tell.
I think it might be Poles for Daut.
Might be Poles?
It might be Poles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, since we have a moment to break while the players get set up here for our 5th and final decider game in the set, we're going to take a moment to talk about one of our lovely sponsors.
Our premier sponsor.
Let's see if I was about to say, let me see if I can get it right as I pointed to the top. No, I got it wrong again. It's over there.
Guard your identity, Dash.
Goodness. Guard your identity.
Guard your identity. What else can we do? We can shield our devices with Surfshark.
We can shield our devices. I mean, everybody knows that in this day and age, security over data
and you need to secure your connection as well. Exactly.
like that. And so both at home and abroad, the value of a VPN cannot be overstated, and Surfshark makes it easy, as you can see right there on your screens. And we have an amazing promotion going on with them. If you check below the stream, you'll see the code
We need a
NAC5.
surfboard.
Dude, get us on a
surfboard.
Big wave
Yeah.
surfing. Let's go, Surf Shark. Woo!
Who's the surfer and who's the shark? We
I
need
don't know.
Nilly look.
I'm the Californian, but I've never surfed in my life.
Oh, well, I'm the Canadian, landlocked Canadian. So.
Yeah. Either way, as this goes off the rails, I tell you what, if Dave and I were ever to go to maybe some tropical country to learn how to surf, what we would maybe put to good use
I'd use the code NAC5 to
is
get
a
Surfshark.
VPN and a code NAC5. Exactly.
100%.
You get 83% off. I mean, come on. That's a huge amount of savings. And you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So in the end, there's no risk to you. And while there's risk to your data, by pulling in Surfshark, you're going to eliminate that risk. You're also going to be able to open yourself up to libraries that you wouldn't have access to when you are abroad. Again, we're sitting here in Berlin, and I am a Netflix lover. I'm a Hulu lover, and I want to have access to
But you're not a
the
German
shows.
dub lover.
Not quite.
No,
not quite.
It's not quite as charming as you initially think.
No. No. That language is.
Yeah.
Anyway, at the end of the day, I think that this is an incredible promotion for you to take advantage
Oh
of.
my God, I have hair. Surfshark gives you hair.
Surfshark did it for Dave!
No way!
Come on now. If that's not
Hell
reason
yeah.
enough to go plug that code in right now and show your support for an
NAC5.
amazing sponsor that has shown their support for an incredible event. It's companies like this that help us make this possible, along with the support that you guys provide as a lovely community. So again, once again, check this out. They have an incredible website as well. So if we're not doing a good job of explaining it, which arguably we're not, they'll do a better job.
It's kind of gone off
with
the
all
rails a
these
little bit.
infographics.
Yeah. We're riding the wave of Surfshark currently.
I think we
Just
nailed it,
remember,
man.
NAC5 is the code. That you need.
NAC5.
80% off.
80% off.
80% off.
30
It'll get you
money-back
hair.
guarantee. Come
Yeah.
on. It's not good. And you got time. This is the time to do it. Don't click off the stream. Just open a new
If
window.
I could, I'd be buying it right now.
Go over there and, open up a new window. Let's go. Let's both sign up. That way we can. Okay.
Okay,
And
here we go.
We're back. Thank you so
We're
much,
back. Thank you,
Surfshark, for your
Surfshark.
incredible support. And I want to see the support in the chat for these two players as they have been duking it out throughout this best of 5. It's 2-2, and this is our decider on Desert Void. Daut in the red, playing as the Poles. Dave called that one out. And for FreakinAndy in the blue, it will be the Slavs.
Yeah, and with Desert Void, first appearance. Very first appearance. Now, the thing about this map that you have to note early, as Vodka is pointing out, in case we forgot, there's the little huts. Now, these huts are like houses. They provide 5 populations, so you can see right now, 13 out of 25. Don't need to make the houses early, and you can focus solely on your eco. You got 3 elephants you can also pull in, so 400 food per elephant here. And there's a lot of cracked earth terrain on this map, or not cracked earth terrain, but the desert-y kind of terrain that you have no resources on. So it's all about these oases on the sides and all the wood lines in your own base. Also, the golds here are very
Interestingly,
exposed.
because the map appears very open, of course, your town center sitting central between anywhere from 5 to 6 wood lines can make for very easy walling. And then, as was mentioned, those army tents also acting as outposts in a way, right? And so hard to get surprised early on by anything.
Ooh, these golds are forward. It's hard to see them on the minimap, but these are really far forward. I mentioned the map script was kind of changed a little bit because in the qualifiers, this became a wall fast castle type of map with back golds. Neely and the team, as far as he let me know, they modified it a little bit, and now the golds are more aggressive, which should promote a little bit more aggression in the feudal age leading up into the castle age. Anyway, let's take a look at the civs here. We've got Daut not losing villagers to elephants or boars today, which is fantastic, and he's playing as Poles.
Yeah, Poles, obviously, the economy is so incredible once you get those folwarks up and start placing the farms around them. Villagers getting to regen later in the game, all right, that's a nice to have. But stone miners as well, being able to generate gold in addition to stone is nice in case you get forced off of any of those gold positions.
I think the fullworks are the big thing here, right?
Exactly.
In the transitionary periods, it's huge. And then we're looking at the Slavs, and the Slavs have gotten a lot more popular recently. The farmers working 15% faster again is beautiful. Also, you have fast monks, so you can grab the relics really, really early, bring them back to your base. And in the light cav monk meta, that we're seeing currently in Age of Empires 2, I mean, slabs are super impressive, especially in the hands of a player like Andy.
Yeah, I mean, siege units being 15% cheaper as well. And then we've talked about it before, but Boyars, if you can get to them, are just a nasty unit to try and deal with.
Yeah. And the mobility goes hard on this map because there's so much open area, right? You can see where the relics are positioned here. They're in the like 5-star position. I believe that's basically the same way they're going to be positioned the entire time. And then, of course, we have the neutral markets on the edges. Very unlikely that we will see that.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet across any of the neutral market maps, I don't think.
It was funny, when we were first talking about this map at our meeting on Friday, ACCM brought up, he's like, if you make trade on Desert Void, the game crashes. And all the players look at him and they're like, really? And he's like, yeah, as soon as you click the market, the game crashes. We're like, thank you. No one else even tried that. Yeah. Like, everyone was stunned. ACCM is in there grinding trade strats.
And though no one had even tried it before, it still only took map scripters 12 hours, right? Or whatever. Between then
by
and
the next day, it doesn't crash anymore. Yeah, that's fixed.
So, yeah, that is available to players if they choose to go for it. We still have yet to see it. Here come the militia from Daut along with villagers. So, forward aggression early on as he hits the feudal age. We have Loom just now coming in here for Andy in time.
With the poles, eh? He's going to come forward with the 3 militia. He'll get probably get the men-at-arms upgrade soon. He's on stone gathering gold. That's why it says 0 on gold, but it's still ticking up. So it's going to take a while, but he should get the men-at-arms upgrade soon. And he's really cooking with this strategy, isn't he? Forward to hold his opponent in, go onto the stone to afford the upgrades, and then stone wall with the excess stone behind that, and maybe try and get your eco set up for Castle Age.
It's almost like he's just trying to repeat the story of last game.
Oh, yeah.
On this map, right? I'm going to go forward just to buy myself the time to set up. Yes, Andy still finds a way to counterattack with a couple of scouts and finds this villager left out all by her
She's healing over time, though, and that actually might matter. She's healing over time with the poles.
And Spear gets there just in time to push the scouts back. It looks like the stone walls will come up in the end.
But from Andy's point of view, right, he comes forward and he sees stone walls at this time. He's like, oh, I know what's happening. Like, you must have stone walls on the other side, too.
Right.
You're not just going to stonewall the front and then have palisades on the side. He knows that this is a deliberate attempt from Daut to hold him into his base, to make him invest into Feudal Age, and give himself time to get up to Castle. And Daut is now taking his stone. He's like, all right, cool. Yeah, and he kills the pavilions, which are very weak. I think they have 0 armor, only
they're like
500
the yurts,
HP.
right? Yeah, where they're essentially armorless and easy to take out. Andy is going to reach out for some walls as well, but his are just of the palisade variety, if you will. But I think now it becomes about the transition to the Castle Age, right? You've realized that that's Daut's entire goal, and this is another way to punish him for it, is to find the forward vills with 3 of your scouts, and one of them will go down immediately. He's now running towards the safety of his own military units, and should ideally be able to keep these 2 alive at the very least.
Yeah, good job from Daut, and those villagers are going to heal over time. I love the difference between these 2, because there was ample opportunity to drop 1 palisade wall there and keep them safe, but Daut's like, no, I'm going to pull them away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
Create more work for myself if I sit here and try.
What if I fail?
Exactly. yeah, you might lose all 3 then, right?
Exactly.
And so he goes for the surefire play, losing or sacrificing 1 vill, but for the safety of the other 2. And take a look at those farm counts. It's 12 slab farms at the moment. On the other side, we only have 2 so far for Daut on the field. Now, granted, the full work, the value of it is that when you complete building the farm, you will get a percentage of that farm's total food directly deposited into your bank. So you can see the food skyrocket as soon as Daut starts throwing down the farms. 20 on wood at the moment.
Yeah, but the slabs 15% faster, right? So which one would you rather have? Would you rather have the poles, or would you rather have the slabs? It feels like the poles are going to be a little bit better early, and the slabs are going to be a little bit better late.
Exactly. If you're looking for a spike, you want the poles.
Yeah.
If you're looking for long-term advantage, it's absolutely the slabs, because over time they're going to bring so much more value and consistency, in a way, to your food generation.
All right, so we had 1 pavilion going down from Daut. And if Andy keeps working away on those, I mean, he might get housed, but I mean, they're just made to die, aren't they?
Yeah.
You just rotate around, you kill all those pavilions. It's going to be very annoying. Andy will go down to 45 pop space. Daut's working away on another one on the other side of the map. And Andy is even coming over to clear up this stuff with his scouts. Daut getting wheelbarrow currently. 30 villagers for him. 33 villagers for Andy. I think Oh, it's because of the wheelbarrow coming in.
Yeah,
and of course the one that he lost earlier.
But good call. I mean, he does save the military tent there and the 5 pop space. And all of the militia will go down. So some scouts to roam the map, but not too much damage to be found, at least behind Daut's walls. Really, those villagers on the front could be the only thing that possibly get targeted.
Let's think unit compositions here. Is it like slot up privileges for Daut and then just spam knights, or are we gonna get something else from him?
Doesn't it feel like
It
in a number of ways both players just kind of want to go knights and pikes?
Yeah.
and siege.
Yeah, 100%.
And then who do you like more in that situation?
Well, then you have the tech tree advantage for Andy, for the Slavs.
Right.
But then if you look at the cost advantage, it's going to be heavily favored towards Daut because of Slata privileges, spending way less gold, and there's not an insane amount of gold available on this map.
Now, this could be pretty big, actually. Andy, taking a page out of Daut's playbook, is going to go try and remove some of those military tents. The spearmen did come back to force them off.
Well, he killed earlier. I think he killed one and forced Daut to get wheelbarrow because that was very suspicious wheelbarrow timing.
Okay.
I think he killed one, housed him, and Daut's like, I'll just go.
I was going to say, exactly. And you saw 45 about to drop down to 40 pop. Could have been dangerous there for Daut. And instead, he will save the tent in the long run.
About a minute and a half later to Castle Age. So, Andy, really, really hitting those timings nicely.
Fantastic. And that's because of all those farms he got down early, right? He was on 12 farms to 2 earlier in the game. I mean, yes, Daut is now up to 16 around those full works, and that's going to make him feel very good about the food economy in the long run. Able to click to the Castle Age now. 45 seconds away here for Andy.
I think I think this is a much better position for Andy. Maybe Daut is, going to prove us wrong, but Andy's got the scouts on the field. Daut doesn't have any scouts. Andy's going to get to Castle Age faster with faster monks, so he'll just simply collect all the relics, get that passive eco bonus coming in, and then I believe he just has the better tech tree as long as he's not overwhelmed in Castle Age.
I have to agree with you. I think the later this goes, the better it looks for Andy, barring any kind of major trades, right, or villager massacres. And there's that monastery being dropped immediately, as well as a number of villagers coming out to secure one of those gold positions. Very important.
And cracked earth terrain, though, you do take more damage when you set buildings up on the cracked earth terrain, even if it's just like a couple tiles there, I believe.
I think the one on the wood line is touching some cracked earth.
Yeah, the other one's on the sand.
Yeah, so that one might be good in terms of, unless there's one tile there.
Because we all know sand is just a great foundation.
Well, yeah,
for a building. 100%. All right, light cav in for Andy. We've got heavy plow. We've got the second wood upgrade. The monks are on the way, and the villagers are still there. Okay, Daut's just protecting them with the spearman. He refuses to leave, and he's taking all of that stone away from Andy late game, and Daut is already adding in stables. Castle will likely come up right away. Does he go for another TC, or is it like an all-in approach?
I mean, the fact that he's going for infantry armor tells me he wants to do something in the Castle Age, right? Because he's dropping a stable and got first infantry armor. Is finally running with those villagers since the monk came forward to try and look for the conversion. But then you have a question of like, okay, where would the siege workshop
Second and third
positions
TC.
be? All right, never mind.
Second and third town center. So he'll keep collecting the stone. He will go for the boom. And we are going to be a little bit longer until we see the action. But I feel like once the action hits, it's going to come really, really fast.
Yeah, but so then now the focus becomes the relics, right? As you pointed out, I mean, Andy will be the first one out to them. And
He should know where they are.
Right, if they're always spawning in the the 4 corners and one in the center, it should be fairly obvious where you need to go with those monks, even if you haven't scouted them.
I think that's where they spawn. Maybe it's just
they
a
are
coincidence.
generally there. They're not 100%
they're not 100% in the
position,
corner.
but there is kind of one in each of those corner quadrants.
Yeah.
And at the very least, monk visibility, right? Monk vision. If you send one towards a corner, you will spot
Fourth
the relic.
DC.
Well.
Okay, Daut. All right, Daut. Are you even going to have enough room for the full works at this point? He needs to chop the trees, delete the lumber camps, just have enough room. That's a nicely placed full work.
Yeah,
it's going to work.
It's a condensed economy, but an effective economy at the least. We have wheelbarrow coming in now for FreakinAndy to match the wheelbarrow of Daut, and light cav coming in for Daut to match the light cav of FreakinAndy.
55 villagers for Andy, 44 villagers for Daut, but the fourth TC is going to start to pull him even with Andy, and Andy is just now getting wheelbarrow. Total res collected, You can see it's actually an advantage for Andy, which is interesting given that Daut has been playing poles and has dropped a ton of farms. But that part of that, I mean, is the slab farming coming into play.
Yeah, we'll see how much he can make up here as he did get that secondary farm upgrade, and we're starting to see some of the farms get refreshed, right? So an injection of food about to come in for Daut that might help close that gap just a little bit. Now only 500.
Okay, Andy, you can't save that. Well, you can with your army, but you can't save it with quick walls. It's just simply not going to happen. 15K!
Let's go.
Nice. Definitely the Surfshark segment.
I think that's what it was.
100%.
Yeah.
They're going to put that on their website, dude.
if we're not in some web ad,
like, we're going to be like an
ad.
old school Flash website where we just surf across, you know, recommended by D&D.
Oh, Lordy.
Dash and D.
That would be pretty great. That would be pretty great.
That's
hey, fourth TC
Why does
for
that
Andy
tree
as
have
well.
snow on it?
There's multiple snowy trees on this map.
It doesn't make sense.
You know, some deserts get very cold, Dave.
They get very cold at night. Yes, but they don't have a lot of moisture, hence the desert label, right? Unless you're talking about, I know chatters, Antarctica is actually the biggest desert on the planet. Yeah, we understand.
Exactly. Missed me with that stuff. All right, 5 TCs now for Daut because I think he had an inkling that there was a 4th there for Andy, so he's got to stay one ahead at all times.
5 TCs. This is exactly what I was expecting.
What is going on, man? They literally just, it feels like it's like a handshake, see you in post-it,
yeah,
bro. Like, whatever.
Post. Oh, no. Don't wall gate. Make a gate. Hello.
Kind of ran into each other there. They're still going to be able to pick off a few of the villagers. Does the TC go up in the end? I think it does because the Light Cav are really struggling to target there. So while a few villagers will go down and extend the villager lead, though, for Andy, overall, he does get that 5th TC up and working.
5 TCs, 4 TCs, Pikemen on one side, Light Cav on the other. Relics are in for Andy, at least 2 of them. Sounds like the beginning of a poem or something.
Yeah, I was
working away, but I couldn't rhyme anything.
Well, not all poems have to rhyme.
Exactly. So stone count for Andy looking solid. We might see with this army control, we might see like some sort of forward castle pressure. Look at the golds there. There's 1, 2, 3, all in that area, and you have a stone too.
I'd like it, but of course you are playing into pikes, right? And so you need to be careful, but plenty of monks here looking for conversions. The Light Cav's looking for the snipes, and they do find purchase onto many of them. A couple conversions come through, but ultimately Andy has to back up from this position, and Daut is safe for the time being.
That's really, really solid for Daut. If he can hold this middle position, it might be something similar to Copenhagen, where he's like up later to the Imperial Age, but he's got the middle. So Andy can't afford to raid the sides of his base. He's going to be focused on defense. But Daut is just making a mining camp. And Andy is going for that castle in that center area. It's going to be able to protect that gold, deny the other gold on the other side, and protect the stone. So Daut will need something to counter that. Right now, the solution seems to be just infantry.
Look at the resources.
He's going up.
He's going up. He's dropping the castle. He's going up. He still has a significant villager advantage.
Does he even have the second building? We don't have the icon on this overlay.
No, I think he's waiting for this castle.
I feel like he's waiting for the it's Siege Workshop. So
okay,
bop.
Now
there
we
can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got it in the queue now.
Okay. I mean, so definitely going to win the race to the Imperial Age. For Daut, still just trying to maximize his villager production out of 5 TCs
but he's
at
not
once.
even. He's still 10 bills behind, Dash.
No.
Andy's playing insane right now.
Andy is. I mean, it's only a 3-to-1 eco KD, right? So that just puts more emphasis on the fact that Andy has been so smooth with his build and keeping the uptime in his TCs. Daut with 10 minutes of idle TC time. I know that's across 5 TCs, and it can be hard to keep it up in terms of the food count, but then it makes you wonder why 5 TCs if you can't keep them working.
Exactly. I mean, he's waiting for the farms to be refreshed to get that bank of food. Andy's getting that constantly from the farmers being 50%, 15% faster. So great eco balance from Andy. Good expansion from Andy. Also, the fact he's dealing with these pikemen so well, and he keeps pulling back his units to heal him up. He's got the monks, getting himself some valuable conversions. He's got the 3 relics. He's got the castle forward. This is all Andy at the moment. Daut really needs this win. He's down 2-0 in terms of sets. in NAC 5 so far, and we still have not seen any Knights or anything. It's just Pikeman at the moment.
Yeah, and he's looking like he's on the back foot in this one. Mangonel coming forward and finding a great shot onto those Pikemen. And while the Pikemen will serve as a solid defense against the Cavalry, in the end, you can't win with Pikemen only. We have 1 minute to go until Imperial Age comes in. Not even on the way yet here for Daut.
What do you do against Boyar with poles?
I really don't know the
You don't get help.
You don't get help. I don't know, like your ranged units just aren't great. Like it doesn't feel like you have any options.
And you're not gonna have enough castles for Obuk. Like you've already spent your stone, right? And there's another stone in the middle that you can't access. So he's got one castle right now.
And that's going to make me wonder about the approach to this game entirely for Daut. Perhaps he should have been more aggressive. He did have that early forward, but pulled back pretty immediately. He's going forward now to try and fight a little bit over this castle placement, but Imp comes in, and so do some of the upgrades. I mean, Andy's looking to run away with this one, Dave.
Andy is running away with this one. That castle's going to deny a ton of area at the front of Daut's base, and Daut's going to have to get his production building set up elsewhere. Still no Obuk production, still no tech switch into like Arbalist or something like that. He's just going to get to Imperial Age and then what? Click chemistry or... I honestly, I don't know what the options are for him. Andy has such a powerful position in the center, and he's got the units he needs, and that is the Imperial HTC right there. So if Andy pushes forward with Trevs, could be problematic. I feel like he targets the castle first.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right when it comes to reaching the Imperial Age, but by the time
Slaughter
he
privileges.
does...
There it is. There it is. He's setting up the stables. He's setting up the bulwarks.
Okay, so it's overwhelm in terms of numbers.
Yeah, and maybe go for a counter raid or something, because you can't fight the Boyar head on with Polish Cavalier.
But how about that? Almost sensing the play, immediate tech into the pikemen and the infantry armor upgrades. And so I'm sure as we see some of those barracks coming down, the numbers will climb for the military units here. For FreakinAndy, he's managed to hold a military
heart rate's
advantage.
Gonna climb too.
Yeah, I bet. Look at that, 140 beats per minute, but rightfully so, as he's on the verge of moving to 2-1 in sets here at NAC as one of our 2 new players to this LAN tournament from NAC4.
Oh boy, it's such a rough position for Daut. He keeps falling back further and further and further. That castle's going to go down. The Boyar are going to be harassing the villagers on that gold. Fortunately for Daut, the castle held long enough for him to get up to Imperial Age as the Trebs will roll forward and start attacking that TC now, but he just doesn't have the amount of stables he needs. He's got the eco, like 63 farmers is great, but now no one on gold.
None on gold. Yeah, 260 gold. So I don't know what Slacker Privilege does for you. Those 5 stables can produce 1 knight each, and then you're going to hit your limit. So at the moment, it is still pikes into everything here for Daut. Imperial Age is in. He has to run from this gold position. Things are looking dire as the trebuchets start working away on the walls. The flood may begin into the center of Daut's base, and that very pretty eco will turn nasty very quickly.
What a performance from Andy. I mean, first appearance at a LAN event, he's already won against Hart, and now he's going up against Daut, and he is cruising right now. He's getting the final armor upgrade for his cavalry. We saw the infantry upgrades come in earlier. Already pikemen could get Halb as soon as he has enough resources, but Boyar is very devastating, and 11 Boyar are in the queue.
Yeah, such a steady game here for Andy. Understood his win conditions. We're getting to the late game and playing with the better tech tree, and he's done it flawlessly here in this game so far. For Daut, he's trying to find his answer in the late game. He's moved some villagers onto stone, and yes, that will give him some gold generation as well. Found 11 villagers onto gold as well. Here come the cavalry upgrades. He does have Cavalier and second armor, but he doesn't have numbers to fight, and he's falling ill to the swarms.
It's just going to be sell food. Look at the food. It's all food. That's his eco right now. He's got to sell it. He's got to get more knights on the field. Andy buying stone, though, and he's going for another castle, and this might be the GG position here for Andy as he's going to push the woodlines, push the farming from Daut. There's nothing Daut can do against the Boyar. He snipes the monk with the relic, which is a nice touch from Daut, but the Boyar are into the eco, and Daut only with pikemen available to really deal with this unit.
Yeah, the Poles, the eco farming was kind of your saving grace, if anything, but if the Boyars are in, that's going to make one less thing that you can rely on here for Daut. He's still holding on, doesn't want to say die, as this is the final game in this best of 5. Elite Boyar on the way, and not far. 150 villagers, by the way, here for FreakinAndy. Pop cap, to say the least, to the 1 30 of his opponent. Things are looking good.
There's no resources left to take. He's got some wood, his gold is being harassed, his stone is being harassed, his farms are now being taken away from him, and Elite Boyar is in, and I think Daut realizes it's over. He calls the GG, and Andy wins the set, the underdog, the first time appearance at an NAC, and look at how happy he is. Well played from Andy.